Good morning, gamers! Hello! Hello, hello, hello! How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Apologies I'm late. Apologies I'm late. I just was about to start the stream making my little coffee and the cats had destroyed the house. I literally been in the shower, I get out, dry my hair, get my news ready. Okay, and then I like go to make my little coffee before I start, and then the cats have destroyed the house. So apologies, I'm late. Welcome, hello, my name's Mikey. Welcome to Hellstormwargaming. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the Wednesday show that I think it needs a rebrand. Think it might need a rebrand. Not gonna lie. Welcome to Good Morning Coffee Time. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, the cats were being cats, that's for sure. Organ, thanks for the 34 months, dude. Thank you for the 34 months. Fucking legend. You could be like Organ and become a member for as little as £1.99 a month, and if I get 50 members, maybe I'll be on time someday. Maybe if we hit 50 members, I'll be live on time at the next stream. How's that sound? How's that sound? But no, apologies for being late. Yeah, my cat, I've got two cats if you don't know. I've got Cloud, which is a beautiful white and grey cat. She's beautiful. She's called Cloud, but she's a girl. Named after Cloud from Final Fantasy. And then we have Inky, the black cat. And Inky, he's a boy. He's a little shithead. He's obsessed with chewing anything soft. Okay? Whether it's packaging, whether it's fucking carpet. Diawag, thanks for the 45 months, dude. Holy shit, that's such a long time. Dude, thank you. Really appreciate it. It's really kind of you. 45. Yeah, so Inky loves chewing anything that's soft that bounces back. You know? So a great example is a huge thank you to Organ. Thanks for the 5, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy shit, man. Thank you so much. Good morning. Appreciate you. What a fucking legend. Dude, thank you so much. Cat mention get gifted. At least I talk about cats all the time. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, so Inky is obsessed with biting stuff that like is soft that bounces back. A prime example. Can I get it? Because it's in the bin at the minute. A prime example is like this sort of packaging. Is like you know, like this like polystyrene sheet that you get in packages these days. It loves to bite it because it bounces them back. It bites it and then bounces back. And then also makeup sponges, which is really fucking annoying when I'm like working with makeup sponges on my desk. Georgie doesn't use them that much, actually, funnily enough. Makeup sponges I'm using for painting, he'll like run onto my desk, take one, and then fuck off. He'll just dart behind the sofa with it. And then that'll be it. There'll be bits of sponge everywhere. So this morning he realised... Thank you, guys, for the 55. Hell yeah, dude. Real Legends and Parasocial games. That's true. That's true. Don't forget Parasocial. If you want to join an exclusive WhatsApp group with me and a bunch of other wonderful people that talk about Warhammer all the time, and you get to see behind the scenes content as well as just seeing a lot of stuff that I do early and just get chat to me in general, make sure you become a Parasocial member. I really appreciate it. He realised this morning that the mat that his food is on has foam on the back, so he destroyed that today. Fucking cats, bro. He's like that one who ate the sofa. He would eat the sofa. He honestly would eat the sofa. I'm just sending updates to George. So I come downstairs, as you can see. That mat that is in front of Inky is supposed to be under his bowls, which are now upside down, including the water bowl, which was all poured everywhere. That got filled up this morning. So they've tipped water all over the fucking floor. And then I go into the front room and there's fucking chairs everywhere. Just cat things, yeah, literally. The packaging judgment cavill is most of it is poisonous for cats unless it can degrade in water. Yeah, I don't let him have it. You know what I mean? I don't let him have it. He takes it. He steals it. Mine likes to bite my sprues. Cloud's been doing that as well. Cloud likes to bite sprues, yeah, definitely. So yeah, so I don't let them have makeup sponges. I don't let them have packaging. But they've had it once and they're addicted, honestly. It's quite funny, but also it's quite like, fuck's sake. It's a little fuck's sake, you know? So, because I get like packages all the time. So they're like, oh, a box, that's probably got packaging in. You know, I'll tear the box up and get it there. So, actual shitheads. So apologies I was late. That's all I'll say. So welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're all having a good time. We got some drama to cover today. It's the Wednesday. I said cloud me out for some reason. It's the Wednesday show, which means we cover news around the community, not necessarily just about things that I've been doing. I was going to be talking about Emperor's Children initially. I still plan to talk about Emperor's Children. I think the book, yeah, I've got the book next to me. I still plan to talk about. They're doing something. 1 second. What? What have you got? What have you done? Like I fucking injected him with catnip or something. Oh, apologies. Right, okay. So I was going to be initially talking about Emperor's Children. Cat games become a necessity, not just a bonus feature of the stream. Yeah, I think so. I think that's where we're at. Where was I? Yo, Daka, thanks for the 2. The chair's more personality. That's not how you make mod, mate. That's not how you make mod, I'm afraid. My cats make sure there's no carps in the house. Yeah, they look like they're fucking having the best time. They just love destroying shit. So yeah, so I'm going to be talking about some drama that happened last night, 12 hours ago. I will be talking about Emperor's Children, but now it's going to be a little bit later in the show. I wanted to talk about list ideas that I was having, things that a lot of people complain about this 90 tank. I thought we could talk about that, but I'm going to talk about some initial drama first, then go on to Emperor's Children, okay? So if you're wondering where the Emperor's Children section is, skip forward. Quick question. Can Emperor's Children still take 500 points of any demons or Slaanesh demons, or can they only take them in Carnival? Any specifics in the codex? I haven't seen any YouTubers say something. The rules for taking Slaanesh demons as an ally is an Chaos Demons rule, okay? It's not a Slaanesh, it's not an Emperor's Children rule. It's not a Death Guard rule. That currently hasn't been updated, so currently yes, but I imagine it will get updated to some point. I don't know whether it'll be gone completely or whether it'll update, because currently if you have Lucius as your warlord exclusively, you can take 500 points of allied Slaanesh demons. But obviously there's more characters than Lucius now, and that's the only stipulation. It's only stipulated as Lucius because the only way to be Emperor's Children was to have a Lucius as your warlord. Now, obviously, there's lots of Emperor's Children characters. So whether they update it and say if you've got Emperor's Children, if your faction is Emperor's Children, you can take this, but you can't take Legions of Excess. So they can basically saying you can only take 500 points of allies. Whether they say nothing and just go, yeah, if you're Emperor's Children, you can take anything, then you can take up to 1,500 points of demons, technically, with Legions of Excess and the Demon Index. Or whether they go, you can't take any. I don't know. So currently, if you take Lucius your warlord, you can take 1,500 points. But the book isn't out yet, so I wouldn't plan for it. You need to have a mobile setup as a quick switch stream cam so you can follow the mayhem as you chase the cats. Brilliant. Darker, thanks for going to Mama Bud. Really appreciate you. But yeah, it'll probably get cleared up soon. There'll be an update when the Emperor's Children actually comes out, when the book is officially out, I imagine, for other things that it affects. But I don't know. They didn't send me the points, didn't send me an FAQ or anything. So, which is obviously I was a bit put out by because I normally get the points, so I didn't get them this time. Don't know what's going on. Do CSM take the old Noise Marine data sheet or do we use a new one and points? I'm so confused. As I said, the codex isn't officially out, so you currently take the old one. Until the book is on the shelf, which it's not, even if it's in a FOMO box, until the actual book is on the shelf, the one that's in the thumbnail, the original artwork, the book is only like for playing casual games and just generally just fucking about with it. It's not an official book yet, you know? The way it works is, Games Workshop are doing a big army box. They release a limited edition codex in the army box, okay? The army box isn't like formally allowed until the codex is actually released individually on its own on the shelf with the data cards with all the rest of the models. Reason being is because, one, half the army's not out yet, and two, it's because there's a limited run of FOMO boxes, which is why they're called FOMO. There's a limited run of boxes with the codex available. So until the codex is available for everybody, then nobody technically can use it. What I imagine they'll do is they'll update the Minotaur and Field manual publicly with the points in there probably next week, and it'll say like, here's Emperor's Children codex points, you can use these until the book is out, you know, like we saw with Astra Militarum and Eldar. We had two sets of points. We had Codex Eldar and Index Eldar, because the Index is the official version, and the codex points that they'll release until the original codex is out is kind of like preview points, you know. The way it chose to do things is so fucking garbage. Yeah, but you'd rather a book that is really broken or whatever. Let's say it's really broken. You'd rather be able to go buy that book off the shelf, and so everyone can have some sort of access to the rules rather than relying on like online pictures or whatever. Compared to what it is now, where they're kind of like, yo, the book isn't technically out yet. This is a first dibs thing, and especially because the army isn't out yet either. In this instance, we've obviously got like 3 to 4 units of a arguably 7-unit book, but there's still like a bunch of units you can't actually buy. The Flawless, Lucius, Fulgrim, you know? The army isn't out yet. So, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know when the balanced data slate is. I don't know if they're planning on updating the points publicly. I don't know. Remember in 5th edition when things didn't get FAQ for 2 years, it could be worse. Saggy Omen. Yeah, true, to be honest. Very true. That's the thing. I think people complain now. They don't know how good they got it, you know? They don't know how good they got it. Like, things used to come out, used to be broken, and then you'd have 4 different random TOs, like, rule it themselves, and then they'd all think they're right when none of them were. And then Games Workshop didn't address it until the end of 7th edition, for example. They literally didn't FAQ anything. They didn't FAQ or errata pretty much anything until the end of 7th edition. And that's not just talking about 7th edition, that's talking about all the editions before. The FOMO box technically isn't in store for another 10 days. Yeah, for true. It's not even out yet, you know? So the codex in the box technically shouldn't be used for a week and a half. 10 days, and then it shouldn't be used in any official format until the book is on the other book is on the shelf. Considering all the in the know channels are posting their data slate wish list, I'd say the data slate is very soon. Well, we know it's this month, right? Because we had one in January. I never thought the FOMO boxes were pre-release, but okay. Yeah, basically that's what they're treating them as now. You know? Basically, yeah, that's probably a good way to look at it, is that the FOMO box is a pre-release. But yeah, we know the data slate talk is going to be, it's going to be every week until it's out. Everyone's going to be like, it's out this week. Every room is going to be like, yeah, it's out this week, until it's actually published, because it's March, you know? We're in a constant cycle. You know, half a RRL meant, but I read it and I started saying it. Yeah, we're in a constant cycle of new army, and then, oh, we're only a month away from a data slate, and then a new army, and then a new thing gets dropped, and then it's only a month away from a data slate. You playing out on Saturday, cheeky APOC game with Varrock and the lads. Where's that happening? So yeah, so I don't know if they're planning on dropping it this week, next week, week after, 4 weeks in time, the last week of March. But it's this month, so a lot of people are going to be talking about it. It's the talk of the town this month. Please, Lord J's Workshop, Legends Vindicators. Please don't, I've just bought 2. I've literally just bought 2. I bought them, and then I was like 2 weeks later, it was March, and I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Even lead balance designer of Games Workshop's running 2 Vindicators. What the fuck am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do, bro? It's over. He's using Bloodless Angels and winning events with it. It's Jova. Half a release. I know they want complexity down, but half fun is madness of thousands of options. Yeah, but that's what they do, right? They don't want people to buy everything in one day, because you won't. If everything came out on Saturday, you wouldn't have ordered everything. You'd order the cool things. So they go, here's one thing, and then like 4 to 6 weeks later, all funnily enough, aligning with paydays, here's the rest of it. You know? The rest of Emperor's Children will be out before the end of the month, I reckon. I've got no inkling of when it's coming out, but I reckon it'll be out all before the end of the month. But it'll be like not on shelves until April, you know? So people at payday can go buy it. They think about your payday, they want it, okay? That's how a company works. They think about your payday and go, I'll have some of that, please. In return, you get models. So it's not the end of the world. Payday farm is real, yeah, true. 30k Emperor Children's stonks going hard while getting a quarter of an army that only released with half an army range compared to any other faction. Yeah, it's true. Like, a lot of people talk about Emperor's Children and, like, buying out all the 30k stuff. Shall we have a look? See if it's, like, obvious. I've seen a lot of people complain about my video. I was stalking the Emperor's Children Reddit last night, as you do. As you do, you know. As an influencer, you know. Let's have a look what's out of stock first. Can you do sort by out of stock? I'm starting from the bottom now. I'm here. Right, okay. Mark 3 Tactical Squad. Okay, that's not relevant. Fulgrim, not surprising. So Fulgrim's out of stock. Legion Master, I don't know what they'd use that as. None of this shit. This is all resin. Cacophony. Funny that. Look at that. Look at that. Cacophony out of stock. That's handy, innit? That's convenient. Noise Marine suddenly out of stock. Crazy. What else is out of stock? Okay, Heresy Armor, but it's resin. Who cares? What plastic shit is that? Well, Phoenix Terminators and Palatine Points are out of stock. Do you mean Infractors and Terminators are out of stock? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. Is Mark 6 out of stock yet? Because I'm going to start calling up Terminator Squad. Yeah, Praetor. That's a Lord Exultant if I ever saw one. That's a Lord Exultant if I ever saw one, bro. Emperor's Children upgrades. I wait for Mark 6 to say they're out of stock because that's hilarious. Do you think I single-handedly drove the sales of Mark 6? If you did, I hope you use my affiliate link, which is in the description, to Outpost. !Outpost in chat. If you want to get some discount Warhammer, make sure you use my affiliate link. That'd be really cool. Mark 6, 4, and 6 aren't out of stock yet. Okay. People are getting confused, that's all. People are getting confused. A lot of people are complaining about my video. There's more than 33 models. There's more than 33 models in this box. A lot of people are really annoyed because everyone's like, I can't believe, like, I was on Reddit, you know, just having, because what I was doing, I was looking at like the general vibes of like Emperor's Children. You know what I mean? Like, are people like complaining about the army? Are people ever like got people cool things to think about it or say about it? I think people got like negative things to think or say about it. Like, what's the general gist? Which I did find a list-o-matic link, which is going to be very handy in a bit when we write in lists. Which is like a rudimentary list builder, which is really cool. Shout out to the person that made this. I don't have the original link, but I can share this later. But the point being, the point being is that, like, I was scrolling and someone shared my video in there. So I left a little comment, you know, and be like, thanks for sharing. Thanks, babe. Appreciate you. You know, just doing my bit. And then it's just loads of comments being like, no, there's not more Marines in the box. You've had to buy more Marines. It's clickbait. Okay. Okay, shall I show you? Let's have a look. No, I'm not showing you. Go on, you can find it. I'll not show you because I'm definitely downvoting them all. Because I'm petty. Because I'm petty. But I was just like, do people not realise that one, Mark 6 Marines, not Mark 4, Mark 6 are going to be like, are like way cheaper to buy per model compared to like any 40k unit. You look at any 40k unit, and especially like assault intercessors and stuff, they're like 40 quid for 10. And then Mark 6 Marine, I should just pull it up, shouldn't I? I'm going to do Control-Shift-T, and then just like big Decknell top B. You know, I think people don't realise that these are £52.50 for 20, you know, which is arguably, I would say, quite expensive, you know. However, you get 20 models, so 50 quid. Intercessors. How does Intercessors not come up straight away? Jump pack Intercessors. 10 Intercessors is 40 quid. Okay. Which are out of stock. You know, which is out of stock. And bearing in mind, it's 1 sprue of 4. Yes, this is 2 sprues. This is 2 repeat sprues, by the way. This is 2 repeat sprues. So it's the same. So that would be £80 for 20. So if Infractors and Tormentors are a similar price to a 40k equivalent like Intercessors, let's say they're 40 quid for 10, you're saving money. Just off the bat. But also, you're really saving money if you're someone like me who has fucking Mark 6 Marines coming out their ears because they bought into 30k when it came out. And I think people are like forgetting that like a lot of people are in the same boat, you know? A lot of people are in the same boat. They have like 30k Marines that they're not doing anything with. And also, I imagine if you go on eBay, he's defaulting me to .com for some reason. Let me just search before I show you my screen. Mark 2 Escort. Not what I wanted. Legionnaire. Mark 6 Space Marine. Oh, it's Outpost postcode. You know what I mean? You can get them like even cheaper. You know, 20 quid for 10. You know, 20 quid for 10. What are the sprues we got? You got Command Squad. 25 quid for probably 10, I think that is. I think that's 10 in the upgrade sprue. So I'm just saying, you are saving money. Because Infractors are not going to be 20 quid for 10. Tell you now. They're not going to be 25 quid for 10. I love the Mark 2 Escort Classic. Brilliant. Expecting Redditors to not complain about not to complain set itself to fail true. Redditors do Reddit a lot, that's the problem. Do you know internal accounts are gonna be big man at Mikey? Yeah, I'm the problem with Games Workshop's accounts books right now. Because you know, like they got rid of all the 30k stuff in 40k because they wanted people to stop propping up 30k sales for 40k armies. I'm just like making it worse. I'm just like telling everyone to keep doing it. I'm like, no, keep buying 40k, 30k models for 40k, but make them the same size. That's what's crucial, all right? Before someone says it, all right? If I want to play Emperor's Children, I'll just buy basic actors support with 30k Emperor's Children models like Palatines and Cacophony on them. Yeah, it's fine. Do it. Why not? Why not? More than 33 if you buy a box of Mark IV. I didn't buy a box of Mark IV. I already had them. That means they're free. Do you know you're going to think Horror Shows is popular? They're going to re-release the Legions of Darkness, or our Age of Darkness box set because everyone's going crazy for Mark VI. And everyone's like, yeah, but I only wanted 20. What is that? How many is them box? 40? I think I had 2 boxes. So I've gone through 80 Mark VI Marines. 50 Mark VI Marines. I've had 80 in total. Isn't that crazy? I really liked it. Leftover pieces are always annoying. Yeah, I mean, you just kind of like passing on the problem because then you have Mark IV arms and gun spare. But I'd rather use them in 40k because I already have them. You know what's better than buying new models? Having the models already and using those instead. That's based. That's what I say. That's based. From your more than 33 video, I didn't get how easy was it to make more than one Lord of Exultant. Could get one more of it with a body, spear and lash. So, with the Lord Exultant, it's something I thought about. The problem is with making an extra Lord Exultant is that you don't have a body big enough. Because the Lord Exultant's quite big compared to a normal Marine. You could technically just use an Infractor body, that's fine. But, like, you'd probably really want to use a Noise Marine, to be honest, as, like, the base, because they're quite chunky. And they're on 40 mil, so they sit better. Because I think putting Infractor on a 40 mil is going to look really small. You know? The other thing is then if you bought 2 Emperor's Children boxes, you're going to be left with a spare unit of Noise Marines. And I've seen talk of using the spare unit of Noise Marines to build 3 Lord Cacophonists because they've got the noise backpacks and Lord Exultants, but you don't get any bits to make them, you know? You get the pistols, so Lord Cacophonist loadout's pretty fine, but it's just going to look like a Noise Marine with 2 pistols, you know? Is that Lord Cacophonist? Maybe. Maybe at a push if you squint really hard. Personally, I don't think it'll look right, but you can, you know. But like, yeah, for the character, I think you need something a little bit bigger than the Infractors. Hence why I didn't bother. However, depending what the Flawless Blades sprues look like, I've got an idea for those. So we'll see. And then a lot of people are talking about like Corn Berserkers and Death Guard and stuff. And then I was like thinking, do I do the same video but for World Eaters and Death Guard? And then I was like, I don't care about those armies. Are the 30k bodies the same size? If you build them up, they are. Did you watch my video where I literally based up all the Marines to make them the same size? If you convert them, it's fine. You can't convince me that... What's the drama? I'm talking about the reaction to my video, and then I'm going to get into the big meat and potato drama. You can't convince me that anyone into Warhammer doesn't have a spare pile of bits... A spare bit sprue pile somewhere that could have been used in that style of video. Yeah, it's one of those. It's kind of like... I think the reason it's kind of blown up is... I will say, like I said, it was doing really well on Monday. It's the best performing video I've ever put out, by the way. So thank you for being here. Appreciate you. There's 155 of you here. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's the best performing video I've put out because it's not hard to do. And it's kind of like a... Not like a no... I wouldn't say it's a no-brainer, but it's kind of like... It's an art scale, not even scale, an art form of like kitbashing that less and less people do these days because models are harder and harder to do it. So we should celebrate when Games Workshop do something good and make a cool kit that is kitbashable, you know? Mikey, do as I say, not as I do. Anytime I leave from... When did I model for Advantage? Name it one time. Someone said that in a YouTube comment as well. It was just like, no, you got called out for modeling for Advantage. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Can you make more than one Exalted spear and lash? Yeah, because you only get one spear. You get a bunch of lashes. You'd end up with spares, but obviously then if you're using one Infractors, you've got no spares left. The only reason I managed to make 3 units of Infractors was because I built the Lord Exultant in the worst loadout, but I thought it looked cooler. And I don't play in tournament. I'm probably not going to play tournaments with Emperor's Children. If I do, I'll buy another Lord Exultant, you know? Is it okay to use 30k Marines in 40k as Chaos? As long as you make them the same size, yeah. That's my biggest bugbear is people using them verbatim when they're different sizes. You know. I constantly use my Marines. I managed to make 40 Death Country Marines using Blood Angels box and some minor modifications. Nice, bud. Don't think Cacophony is so bad. They're fine. I think Cacophony with being able to, like, a cheap way to get enhancements on those Marines is good. A-bound was great. So many spare bits and bodies weren't cheap. Yeah, I think 8-bound is probably a good example of where to use Possess to make a bigger kit, you know? Could you do it with a Krieg box, eke it out to 20 models? No, there's not. Unless you like just go, yeah, build them up, put them on Cadians. But I mean, you don't get that many. You don't. People don't have that lying around. I think the Mark 6 is a good example because it's a starter box kit. You know, because of Age of Darkness. Wait, there's drama over your video where you're trying to help people save money. Yeah, trying to help people save money and get more of a kit that they can't buy for 6 weeks. You know. I used to characters a heresy box to make additional Emperor's Children characters. That's smart, Joe. That's smart. That's smart. How you doing? I wanted to look at your army, but there was no close-ups on your video yesterday. I was very sad. Very disappointed. But I saw you using a Spartan as a Land Raider, and then I had to tune out because I was like, that's cringe. Nathan Wallace, I've literally just answered your question inadvertently. Nah, Spartan's fine. It's bigger, but it's probably okay. $141 viewers and only 8 members. That is 160 viewers and only 8 members. That is really cringe. That is really, really cringe. Maybe we can get to 15 today. That'd be really cool. And then maybe I'll be on time. I watched a video. Someone without extra sprues. How much am I looking at extra money-wise with separate kits? If you wanted to buy the 20 Mark 6 that I use, you're looking at... If you type !Outpost, I had the Spartan. Oh, you actually used the Spartan? I don't know. I just saw a Spartan. I was like, that's a lot really cringe. If you type !Outpost, use my affiliate link because this stream is powered by the Outpost. Yeah, Papaya. It's also powered by Pariah for the 5 gifted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go, baby. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Mark 6. So if you use my link, it's £44. It's 40. There's some on the way. There's some in stock. You can buy them today. £44 for an extra 20 monies. What's that? £2 something each? £2.10? Let me do the maths. £2.20? I can't do the maths that quick. It's about £2.20 a money, all right, to get an extra unit of infractors. Making your infractor units £22 per 10. That's pretty good. That's pretty good going. Papaya, thank you so much for the 5 gifted, dude. Really appreciate it. So it just makes them cheaper, and it means you can start playing them fucking like in a week rather than having to wait for the infractors to come out and be like, I've only got 20 needs. Then again, you're not going to get them painted before the rest of them come out because they are a bitch to paint, okay? There's a reason all these YouTube channels are showing them off. Fully painted armies, and it's just like airbrush and then like 3 base coats, and that's it. So I might be doing the same because I want to play them on Friday, and it's not. They're still on the fucking shot glasses. It's not looking good, bruv. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of base coats and not a lot of highlights. There's gonna be a lot of proxies. I think I was gonna use the rhinos and stuff anyway from another army, but I might have to like use a lot of other things as well at this point. It's not looking good, like characters especially. I used to take a ladder for my death guard, but added its length with tentacles. That's one hot, 2 great. Love that. I take 1 good confidence with the auto 6 enhancement encounter for the sustained blast master. That's it. Yeah. Do you want 3 good confidence? Maybe not, but you've got 6 noise marines to play with if you buy 2 boxers. That's kind of like where the ideas come from. I don't think it's a terrible idea. I just think you need to do something to make it. I think they do something with the backpack. Maybe take some of the backpacks and like mash them together, so we've got kind of like got 4 speakers. That'd look cool for a cacophonist. I'm constantly convincing myself to not start a 40k army, but I'll follow the law guys ever release. Yeah, true, bro. True. Just do it anyway. 40k is such a good game. It's so fun. I plan to use managers out as bossy managers for children 40k army, so I was glad to see your convention video. Literally perfect. Like, I think someone said it. DN stuff, thanks for the 52 months. Appreciate you. Haven't forgot yet. I think an embarrassingly large amount of people have those in their spare pile of shame, thanks to heresy FOMO and subsequent regret. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, this is the perfect time to make this video. This is like a perfect thing. And I didn't notice, like, do you know, like I spoke about? Let me find a good example to show you. Hang on. What I didn't notice, because someone said it, Andy, my friend Andy said it on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, that's probably right. And then I did it, and I realised, like, this is a normal infractor, you know? This is normal infractor. Look at the belt buckle. 1 second. Bam. This is why I mean they might have to be rush painted for Friday. Look at the belt buckle on that bad boy. Come on. Yeah, Big C! Alright, thanks for the gifted, guys. Really appreciate it. You can become a member like Big C and Arhane, but for a little £1.99. Yeah, look at the belt buckle, and then look at this belt buckle, you know? It is the same. They are literally Mark 6 Marines, just scaled up a bit. Because I think Andy said, he was like, imagine they use the same CAD model, and I was like, you know what, now you've said it, I see it everywhere. Did you paint the nipple rings? Yeah, I painted them gold, bro. So anyway, yeah, that's where my army's at. Nowhere near done. They're coming on, though. They're coming on. It's going to be a weird painting video. I don't think it's going to be like a fun... I 12 hours, because a lot of things have gone wrong. Classic brush, no airbrush. No airbrush currently. I'll be doing hour selling them, but that's all paintbrush. Paintbrush and rattle cans. But yeah, so I think the video is going to probably be more like everything went wrong, here's what happened. It's a Spartan okay with the death roll is shut up. Shut up, bro. Yeah, there's 140 watching. Maybe you could like the stream. That'd be cool. That'd be really sick, I think. Right, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. And what would you call poor Australian? So we're trying to convince the people in my group that if they want to play 40k, just grab a combat patrol. Quick games, low cost, happy wallet. Yeah, for sure. You can play 40k with combat patrol boards, you know? Just play with cards if you really want to. Just play baby 40k. That's what I call it. Congrats on the latest video, pal. It's doing awesome. Media Comics, thanks for popping by, bud. Really appreciate it. Thank you. That is literally my best video. Literally my best video ever. I've never had a video get 30,000 views in a day. I never had a video get 40,000 views in 3 days. You need to jingle the keys for stream likes. Chat, it's time to like the stream. Chat, like the stream. Look at the keys. The keys mean likes. There's 40 likes and 150 viewers. Like the stream, baby. Imagine being grey names. Actually cringe. I can't see grey names anymore. You should be happy. You should be happy. I can't see grey names anymore. Joe's sending me pictures of Spartans. And it says, standardized Spartans as 40k land raiders. They're too big, bro. They're too big. I've got some spare Chaos Legionnaires, so I'm planning to try to use them. Yeah, that was a big question that a lot of people are asking me. It's like, can I use Legionnaires as the bodies instead of 30k Marines? I had to bite my lip and to be like to people, like, you can do whatever you want. I'm not the boss. Do whatever you like. If it looks cool, do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. But it just made me laugh. People are like, do you think I'm allowed to do you think I'm allowed to use the Legionnaire bodies? I was like, I would have done that, but I didn't have any. What I did have was Mark 6. Yo, chat, new goal, 20. Can we make 20? Literally, the stream, the YouTube has just died. Just as I said, let's go to 20 members. All right, 20 members or subs. I'm currently multi-streaming on YouTube and Twitch.tv. You can type !multi in chat to get a link to the other one that we're not watching on. If you'd like non-delayed chat, you can watch on Twitch. If you want higher quality, you can watch on YouTube. But also, if you're watching on Twitch, you can sub for free using your Twitch Prime, which is very cool. You take money from Jeff Bezos and give it to me instead. So I'd appreciate if you did. Where were we? Where were we? Tormentors being basically just Legionnaires means a few pauldron swaps, head swaps, and some minor bits, and they should look the part. Yeah, I think Legionnaires, Mark 6. What else were people asking me about? You can even use, if you really wanted to, you could probably get away with using intercessors, but I feel like the body, the armor might start looking a bit weird. You know? Me neither, it's unreal. Yeah, I've just like, the video just like absolutely popped off. It was quite funny because I tweeted about it and then it got 1 like, so I deleted it. And I posted it on Blue Sky as well. Yo, the end stuff! Thanks for the 15 primes. Appreciate you, bud. What a legend. What a legend. What was I saying? Yeah, I posted on Twitter and then I posted on Blue Sky and then deleted off Twitter because it got 1 like in like 2 hours. But like being YouTube is weird because I released a video on Saturday and it was by far the worst performing video that I can remember. It was literally the worst stats ever. It was a bit poo and I spoke about it on Monday. But it was the worst video ever. And then 2 days later, I released a video, slightly different topic, best video I've ever had in terms of performance. So actually wild. So if you're watching today because you saw that video on with the Emperor's Children box, type 1 and also I appreciate you. Let me catch up. After that video, you're now the Emperor's Children Conversion Authority. That's why I was like, yeah, what can I do? How can I do flawless blades? Sorry. Flawless blades I need to work out how to convert every model in that box. How do I make every box go 4 times as far? The Death Roller looks cool above the tank. Matt, stop being stupid, okay? Stop being ridiculous now. Hobby videos about people getting best value out of new kits should always do pretty well. I do think I'm going to start a trend. I think everybody's going to do the same thing on the release day now. Everyone's going to be like, I bought this kit and smashed it with intercessors. I bought this kit and got even more models out of it. That's all it's going to be now. Today, Emperor's Children, tomorrow, overtaking Pete the Wargamer. I could never. And the fact that you made that reference has made me honoured, nonetheless. Because Pete is a converting king. I am a, how can I make as many meta units out of this box for as cheap as possible type guy. He's like, I had this idea once in a dream, and an angel sang to me, but a biblically accurate angel, and then I just made it. And then, yeah, that was it. Depends how this creator's getting free models from GW, then selling them on the secondary market. They may not have leftover sprues. True. True. I'm planning on converting my Vindicator when it goes to Legends. Probably turns it into a nice ring. Converting king to your converting cook. Yeah, I just watched Pete in awe. That chaos, I still revere the Chaos Dragon he did. The Chaos Dragon he did was insane. Let's be honest. Let's be honest now. The problem with that video that I did though is that Games Workshop don't make many kits like that anymore, you know, where it's like, here's a complete body, the backpack, head, and shoulder pads and arms are all separate, you know. Believe it or not, you going to be 40k tolerance, Pete got me to Kitbashing. That's fucking sick. I love that. I love that. Just wait till GW release the Emperor's Children free mini of the month and drive to 20 stores, easy saving money. Did you see that the Fire Dragon is one sprue? I think, was it in Discord someone posted it on our Discord? Let me have a look. Supposedly, they're giving out a free Fire Dragon this month, right? I think the Fire Dragon is a single sprue. It's not like bits from a sprue, you know? It's not like from a box of 5 or whatever. But I think the sprue is a single sprue, for as far as I know. All the GW model of the month have been single sprues for ages. That's really surprising. I didn't know that. I think they retooled it just for the 3 minute. That's crazy. My new big GW gripe is having the numbers adjacent on the instructions, not on the sprues. I feel like they do sometimes, they do that well sometimes, but not all the time, you know? Striking Scorpions was shit. Yeah, but the Emperor's Children weren't too bad. The arms are all in weird places, but all the bodies are together. And I'm kind of like build all the bodies, get all the arms type of guy. What type of builder are you guys? Let me know. I'm a build all the bodies, get all the arms afterwards type of person. You know? Get them all on the basis so they all stand up type of building. If I can't build one at a time. That's boring. I remember the Deathwing Knight being just out of the box. Yeah, I thought that's what I thought as well. It was just like a box of sprues that they like literally someone had like hand cut up. I'm pure chaos when I'm building. Well, you said you fucking extend your land raiders with tentacles, so. I'm the YGWs. I swear my way through 5 Guys. Well, I like 5 Guys. The burger's really good. Hey, Dotix Energy, how you doing, bud? Build bodies on bases then arms. That's what I do. That's what I do. Mikey, any of the noise marine muzzles left over after building, might be able to use them in green stuff for Cacophony's backpack. Yes. That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, because the noise marines come with options. Let me have a look. I've got the box here. I've got my little tub. I think this is my little tub of spares. Let me have a look. That is our tub of spares. Or maybe there isn't. I can't remember if you get spare sonic blasters or not. There's no sonic blasters in there. Is this them? Have I put them in a different bag? Oh shit! Yeah! Ugh. Sorry, I was really confused. I got 2 bags. I confused myself. Yeah, you get 4 sonic blasters in the box, because obviously you got 2 sets of 6. These 2 don't go together, that's why I'm struggling. They don't go together either. Right, okay, those will, surely. I can't, I'm trying to show you. There they are. There's just bits of plastic. I don't know why I'm trying to put them together. But the thing is with it, is you need bodies for that low cacophonous and stuff. That's what you're missing. You could use a 30k Marines, yeah. Maybe that's something else I do for the next video. That wouldn't be a terrible shout if I kind of did like a how to get more characters and flawless. I didn't see the sprues. I don't know when they're out, you know. But yeah, I built the best option. I'm still left with 2. So you get a lot of spare pistols as well, which you can probably cut off and sort out. Not be somebody if you have a 30k body. True. True. I think that's going to be the way to do it, to be honest. So yeah, so there's quite a few, because I built the best loadout, obviously. I've got the 2 Blastmasters and the 4 Sonic Blasters, and then you still get 2 spare. Because the Blastmasters are optional, so they've put them both on the sprue, even though you would never not run them as it stands. Until they had wargamers points, you'd never not run them, you know what I mean? They got rid of the noise marine with the guitar. He's limited run. But noise marine with the guitar, great low cacophonous model. There you go. I'd love to get a noise marine with a guitar. That'd be cool. The guitar noise marine with my first cacophonous. Yeah, it's a perfect one, you know what I mean? Just give him another gun if you can. And I got one spare. Dan, you shouldn't have. Send it over. I really appreciate it. Do you reckon you build the pistol/sword or sonic blaster with a noise leader? Alexandria, sonic blaster all day. You know? Sonic blaster all day. Give him all the... This is shooting unit. Give him all... Why you give him a pistol? He don't need that. Give him a sonic blaster. You can advance and shoot. Advance backwards. Advance away from the enemy, but still in range. Based. Yeah, I gave all mine guns. I don't think giving them a sword's a good idea, to be honest. Because if they're in combat, you're just going to fall back and shoot anyway. You know? You're not going to be, like, charging them into combat. Would you rather... Would you rather a 18-inch 3-shot strength 5/1 2 damage or range 12 strength 5/1 2 damage? I'd rather the 18. A pistol does shoot, but it's not a sonic weapon. It's a screamer pistol. It's a sonic weapon. They're both sonic. I'd rather the 18 inches, you know. Having the power sword's nice, but like I'd rather be able to shoot longer range, you know. It is only 6-inch difference there, which is something I just realised. That is the only difference, is 6 inches. So I think there's argument to say you take a sword, but I think I'd still prefer the other blaster. Can you enter a 30k kitbash noise marine into a 40k golden demon? That's a great question. Do you prefer transfigured Fulgrim or 40k Fulgrim for playing by aesthetic? I think the Forge World model is obviously a lot nicer. I think it'd be dumb to say otherwise. The issue is the Forge World one is much more awkward to play and much more easy to break. I think someone said it on stream the other day. It was kind of like plastic for play, resin for display. And I was like, yeah, that's true. It'll melt under the studio lights. Yeah, they're just the 30k one is the nicer model. I can't beat around the bush with that. But I'd rather play with the plastic one because it's plastic. It means if I drop it, it probably won't break. Or it's very unlikely to break. Power Sword, presumably Typo Strength 4 is a great reason not to take one. If it was Strength 5, I'd be a bit like... Oh, no, it is Strength 5 for the Power Sword. Strength 5 minus 2/1 damage. Then you get 5 sustain with your cacao as well. Yeah. I found having the sword and a cacophonous with the sword means you can kill off a couple of infantry models in a clutch moment, especially when it's a marine or custodian on an objective. Yeah, it's situational. You might want that sword, but I think in most situations you probably just want the longer range, so you don't have to be as close for more shots. You know. I think in a clutch situation, a sword is good. Having a combat weapon is good if you get tagged by one guy and now you got to fall back and you can't shoot the same unit as everyone else, which is kind of annoying. You know. That is kind of annoying, but most of the time you'd rather not be in combat, right? If you've got a cacao in there, are we going to call it cacao like cocoa beans, or are we going to call it cacao? I like the word cacao. I don't use it enough in my vocabulary. If you've got a cacao in there, he's got pistols, so you're probably going to end up being a bit closer anyway, just naturally, to get the extra shots. So then having a pistol and sword isn't a bad shout. You know? because he's got the screaming pistols as well at 12-inch. So I think if you're running the cacophonist, a honist, the Lord guy. If you're running the Lord guy, a pistol and sword isn't a bad shout. But if you're running a unit on its own, probably want all the guns, to be honest. Ironically. Lord Cacao. Yeah, look, I think Cacao sounds better. The Cacao doesn't give sustain to melee ranged. Yeah, but the thing is with it is you'll have 10 attacks with the power sword, you know, if you've got a power sword on the leader and a power sword on the sergeant, you know. I think that's what Joe's saying. Having 10 power sword attacks AP2 in combat is good, with all the other guys fighting as well. So, but personally, I think just having the extra range is better. The fact you can advance and shoot, you can't advance and shoot the same target, which is kind of like a really weird one. So you're going to have to like mark out who's advanced and be really clear with your opponent, like who's shooting where. But the thing is with it is that it's just like you can go 6 plus D6 and shoot 18. I'd rather 6 plus D6 shoot 18 rather than 12, you know? Especially because you want to keep your Blastmasters out of potential damage, you know? Anyway, what's the drama? I'll tell you the drama. There's been some drama over the weekend. I wanted to talk more about Emperor's Children. I mean, we could go back to Emperor's Children, or do we just stick on Emperor's Children? There's some UKTC drama I wanted to talk about. We could try and write some lists, think about some list ideas that I was having. Chat, type 1 in chat. Okay, type 1, if you'd like to continue talking about Emperor's Children, we talk about some lists, you know? Or type 2, if you'd like me to jump to the drama that happened at UKTC, which I think is quite interesting. If you want to continue talking about Emperor's Children, we'll continue. We'll look at some list ideas that I've been having, some things that I've been thinking about. So type 2 for Emperor's Children. I can't remember what I said. No, type 1 if you want to type 1 if you want to continue Emperor's Children talk. Because I was trying to break it up, you know? Like 1 for Emperor's Children talk, 2 for the drama. I think that's what I said. Did I swap round again? I really need to get better at this. A lot of people are saying, do the drama first. Okay, we'll do the UKTC drama, then we'll go back to list if we've got time. Yeah? 3 for a look at that Escort Mark II. Just search Mark 6 Legionnaires on eBay. It'll come up. It's the only listed. Okay, so this weekend, you might have known that there was an event held in Manchester. Manchester's brightest gym hall. The Manchester GT. A lot of people, it got a lot of coverage because Scary was there, which was cool, from Scarcast. And it was, what, 300 players? 400 players, I think? Doesn't matter how many players. There's a lot of players. It's a big event. Anyway, one person there, my good friend, Innes from StatCheck. Okay? Innes Wilson, Team Scotland captain for a long time. Still is, might be, whatever. I love it to bits. Good friend of mine. He went on stream last night, and he had some interesting comments about a certain player. You know? Now, this player in question hasn't made a statement or anything publicly. I don't know what the deal is with that, whether they're going to or not. I doubt they will. But there was a situation a couple months ago where I streamed the Goonhammer Open, you might remember. And I had 2 players on stream who are being less than sportsmen with each other, you know? Less than sportsmen, and that's probably the most apolitical, correct way I could describe it. They're both being pricks to each other all game. It was very awful. I was trying to scream the game. I wanted to scream inside. I was trying to stream the game, but then also I was trying to like mediate the game because both players were arguing. You know, people have been watching for a couple months, for a while. You might remember that game. We spoke about it on stream the day after. It was pretty poo. It's a pretty poo game because both players are being horrible to each other. It's just like an awful game to watch, to stand near, to TO, etc. It was really poo. But anyway, Innis went on stream last night and had some choice words to say regarding one of the players.
See, and that army doesn't. So I mostly just stood on a bunch of objectives and rolled charges to people.
He's talking about his roundup of the Manchester GT.
Yeah, so that was awesome. Bruce Duffy, one of the other Team Scotland guys, and a very good friend of mine, also managed to
this isn't about it.
Place playing Anthony's Creations of Biolist after finally a very difficult game.
I was like 10 seconds away. I got my ADHD made me skip.
Dubious pleasure of playing Alex Harrison in the semi-finals in the only game I've ever had to complain about in my life.
So for reference, the Manchester GT, because they don't bother putting enough rounds on for everybody, they have 5 rounds, and then they have a top cut. So this was the semi-finals. So they do a top cut, a top 4, and then the top 4 players play a knockout event, like 2 more games. It's knockout. So if you lose a game, you drop out from the event. So you end on 5-1, and then the next 2 people play, and they go into 7-0, etc. So just for reference. So he's talking about his game in the semi-final. Now, I haven't spoken to either person before covering this. I'm just going off what Innis is saying and my own experiences. But I just want to make that super clear. I don't endorse anyone going to attack anyone. I don't endorse anyone harassing anyone on either side of any argument. We're clearly just going to be talking about the situation and what's like probably going to come of it. So just to make that super clear before we get into it. Which I want to quickly touch on a little bit here. So we end up having a very difficult game. Both of our armies are quite movement intensive. You know, Alex is playing an army with a lot of models, a lot of combat stuff, advanced charges, pivoting vehicles, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm playing an army with a lot of models that has a lot of activations and all that kind of thing. I think for reference, if I remember correctly, Innis was playing GSC and he was playing against Blood Angels, but it was like Swarm Blood Angels. It was like lots of min-max units. Like minimum size squad, maximum number of units. that sort of min-max, which is quite funny. So yeah, I'll let him talk about his experience. I'll talk about my own like thoughts about the situation as well. And we both ended up talking at this game around about turn 4. And the policy of UKTC events is hard dice down, game scored at the end of turn 4. Now, I would say that having played this game got quite heated between both of us, and it was very, very, very difficult to play. And probably in my 10-year competitive history, the least enjoyable game of Warhammer I've ever played. And I think it's important to say things like this because there are people in the community that have reputations for being, you know, poor sports or for having issues, and Alex is one of them. And I choose to interpret this game as him being still like that. And I think that's an unfortunate thing to have to say, but this is the only game in my career that I've ever sent a message to the judging team afterwards and like complained about the game because I felt like Alex conducted himself in an incredibly unsportsmanlike manner, weaponizing the clock and, you know, being incredibly rude. I'd like to give a couple of examples. I at one point called just before his examples. So yeah, so he's talking about a player in his semi-final, basically being a knobhead, just playing really unsportsmanlike. Now, just to give full context of like my relation, not to this situation, but the people involved, is that I'm good friends with Innis, known Innis a long time. Had many laughs with Innis, many situations. Ironically, Innis was fundamental in my partnership with Georgie, which I think I've told the stream once upon a time, but maybe on one day I'll bring it up. He was instrumental to me now being engaged, so thank you, Innis, appreciate you. But also, I will be completely honest, and I will say I am like friends with Alex as well. I would say I'm probably closer to Innis than I am Alex, but like with Alex, I've shared a room with him at the LVO. I've like known him a very long time. I've kind of been like adjacent or friends with him throughout a lot of his more recent 40k career, let's say. Probably after the most obnoxious incident of Water Bottle Gate, which was, again, sadly, it's hard to not talk about past situations with Alex and that coming up, you know. Like the Water Bottle Gate that happened like 7-8 years ago was Alex, and it was like probably one of the most famous cheats in Warhammer, competitive Warhammer, I would say. Probably the most well-known one. If someone says water bottle at a tournament, someone usually knows what's going on. And if you don't, I have to explain it because there will be people who don't know. But basically, there's a situation where Alex was playing Tau, and he wasn't in range with weapons, and on stream used his water bottle to nudge a model slightly closer to be in range. Okay, there's your there's your long and short. There's your short summary of water bottle gate. So if you see people mention a water bottle in tournaments as a way of joking, it's kind of become like an idiom of the competitive 40k community of that's what it means. It's like, oh, there's a water bottle on the table, you're trying to move your models closer. It's kind of a bit of a meme. You can just search it. Probably the probably the shittest thing was, and now this isn't related to Alex, this second part, but it was against Jeff Robinson, who then passed away like not too long. It wasn't like 10 years ago. It was like quite soon after, you know. It was like not related whatsoever, but it was just a bit of a yank. So it's probably one of Jeff Robinson, big StarCraft commentator, a bit well involved with FLG, very, very well known in the US competitive scene. That was probably one of his last appearances on a live stream, and it's to do with water bottle gates, which is quite funny. So I think I can speak pretty confidently in the journey of Alex. Has Alex's history, because it's hard to not talk about him because he is well known for that. It's kind of like that was his peak of being a knobhead on the table, being a poor sportsman. I shouldn't say that. I should say being a poor sportsman. I do apologies for saying that, but like that was his peak of being a poor sportsman, and then we saw like what I would say we saw a big change in behavior. Personally, anecdotally speaking, I would see we saw a big change in behavior. And I'm a type of person that's kind of like second chances, you know what I mean? I'm like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, you should have done that. Fool me twice, you know, like that's it, I'm done. So I would say like the behavior definitely changed. I ended up playing Alex at LVO as well. And I will say I didn't have a good game at LVO, but I don't think that was because of Alex. When we played, if the LVO that I went to in 2020, there was a big problem with BCP because there's too many people accessing it. Long story short for that one is that there was a 6-hour break between round 2 and round 3 at LVO because BCP was using Google Sheets to store all everybody's lists. So when loads of people are accessing the list, they blocked up Google Sheets and they just got their account blocked. So so I ended up playing after waiting around for 6 to 7 hours in Vegas. I mean, it wasn't so bad, but it was kind of like you couldn't go too far because the round could have go up any minute. It was a lot of waiting around, a lot of frustration. I think a lot of people were quite frustrated. So I didn't have a good game against Alex, but I don't think that was the situation. I don't think that was because of him, you know. I think that was more of frustration at the event and the situation that we were both in rather than him specifically. It was annoying. He was my only loss at LVO as well. So yeah, but I think the peak of poor sportsmanship with the water bottle was the peak, and then we definitely saw a decline, you know, I think we saw like a bit of a rebuild of character. However, in saying that, what we're about to go in with Innis sounds very similar to the game that we had at Goonhammer, that I live streamed. Now at the time I blamed both players, which I think both players were being quite aggressive towards each other. But, you know, it's kind of like the same thing is happening again with one of the players from that game. And it's kind of like, okay. Okay, maybe we have a common denominator, you know? Maybe. I'm just kind of like theorizing, but still.
Being incredibly rude. I would like to give a couple of examples. I at one point called him out for some movement where I thought like he was going too far. And at that point, he decided to say, well, yeah, but you've been incredibly loose up to this point as well. And I'm like, well, dude, if you thought I was being loose, mention it at the time. Like,
which is exactly the same rhetoric that was said in that game, right? I think we've got that on stream of me saying to Alex, well, he's called you out for movement, and him being like, well, he is he's been lax in movement, and I'm like, it's not very good. It's a way, in my opinion, it's a way to kind of deflect the situation that you are trying to be lax with your movement, etc. to be like, well, they're being lapsed with their movement, you know? It's like, if you had a problem and now you think you can be lapsed, you should have said something. Whereas really, you probably just gain an advantage, and it's like deflecting away to be like, well, actually they are, you know?
It was very difficult.
Yeah, it's a whataboutism, you know? What about you? You know, it's just a deflection tactic, which is pretty poor.
To kind of be on top of it in that position, because, you know, when you're sitting there trying to have, you know, a game with someone and you see something going unfair, and then when you try to call them out for it, they jump on you backwards, and then the ref at the side of the table doesn't say anything, is just kind of standing there. And, you know, no disrespect to the ref who was at the table, who I'm not going to name. They were very clearly out of their depth in the situation, and were not doing an amazing job of handling a very difficult situation.
And that's the thing, right? Because like the reason I wanted to bring this up is because when we are playing tournaments, like 99% of the time, we are playing against someone who's very level-headed. We're gonna have a nice time, you know. We're gonna play a fair game. We're both gonna like be chill with each other. Can you make it louder? That is it. If not, no. The thing is with it is that you kind of have to watch out for these things, because even in a competitive format where all you're winning is internet points, people can still be knobheads, you know? Oh, hello. People can still be knobheads. So you kind of have to, like, not be prepared as such, but be ready for it and know. I think it's good to kind of, like, know some of the warning signs of some of the behaviors that people can try and use to show poor sportsmen, to gain an advantage over you, you know? It's like, I don't think this is not going to be like every game. It's not going to be like one in one tournament, you know? You might hear about it more because I think these sort of situations happen more often, but that's just because Warhammer is way bigger than it was, you know? I think percentage-wise, it's the same. Like, there's a small portion of players who are using poor sportsmanship to gain an advantage. The thing that we can learn from this is kind of like looking at what what poor sportsmen use, what behaviors they have to gain that advantage, you know? So I'm not doing this to be like, I'm calling out anyone. Honestly, it's not my event. I don't care, you know? So yeah, just thought I'd like make it clear why we're bringing it up. So while Inky's coming to have a look as well.
Now, I was going to lose this game anyway, and I really don't want this to come across as sour grapes. Alex went first, rushed me in Search and Destroy, and I came out and I did not do a good job of dealing with it, and I drowned under the pressure. And that is 100% just what was going to happen in that game, regardless of whether I'd had time. You know, we calculated out the score towards the end of the game, and I lost by about 16 points. That's not the score we ended up submitting because we submitted at the end of 4. But, you know, I was not getting out of the game in the situation I was put in. I don't want this to come across as, hey, I lost to Alex and I'm bitchy about losing. I am annoyed that this game was unpleasant to play. I did not have fun. He made it difficult. The time that at one point I said to him, hey, I'm going to, like, I need you to start measuring stuff properly. And he went.
I should say as well is the problem is if this is a semi-final, one thing I completely glossed over, I didn't even mention it. Something that's like completely glossed over is the fact that it says the TO just didn't do anything. And that's just like really poor. He says he shouldn't call out the TO specifically, which is fine. But like, if someone is paying to go to an event and it's a competitive event, whether you're going 5-0 or 0-5, you know, if you're losing every single game, you know, if you are paying to go to an event, there is a certain level of respect that you should give to your players to have a good venue, to have nice terrain, etc. And, you know, I've had my complaints about playing Warhammer in a gym hall, but that's like by the by, it's whatever. People clearly don't care. But if you've got a semi-final, you've got a TO at the table, or a judge at the table, we should more specifically use the term, the judge should be ready to deal with the situation, and the judge should be doing something in the situation. They should be mediating the situation at the very least, not specifically giving out yellow cards or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But they should be mediating the tense situation, you know, and kind of like, you might chat. What am I supposed to do? They should be mediating the situation, and just like, you know, just being the middleman and being like, yo, you're being a bit of a knobhead, get over it. Well, you know, yes, and you are measuring loosely, so can you tighten up, please? And Alex, can you do the same? It's just simple stuff like that, you know, because they should be watching. That's what their whole job is there to do. If you just kind of stood there, then you just kind of stood there. You're not actively judging. You're not being a mediator. You just stood there. So then what are you paying for? You're paying for a venue, but you're not paying for a competitive tournament. You're not paying for anything. Stop pressing the space bar. So let me quickly catch up with chat before I move on. This is a scientific, we have to study the cheater, know the cheater. Yeah, literally. Exactly like that. Having prizes on the line can bring out wasting people. Yeah, but a lot of the time it's just internet points, bro. The only time that there's real prize online is in the UK. Yo, Pyro! Appreciate the prime. Pyrothenia, very kind of you. The only time there's any like real prize online is probably my events. There's not many events that do like cash prizes. Mine does a decent cash prize, you know, give 500 quid to a winner. You know, it's not life-changing money, but it's still a good whack of money that people wouldn't say no to, you know what I mean? But that's the only event that does it in the UK. No one else really does cash prizes or anything of prizes of huge nature. You know, might win a lot of models, but like, it's not quite the same, is it? He's everything people point out when they say they're nervous about attending events for the first time. As I mentioned, I think there's a bit of an arc where he kind of was like the evil Bond villain and then wasn't, and I think the colours are starting to show again, you know. Judges should be able to do that, but not all judges have the ability, confidence to actually stand their ground, deal with these sorts of events. The thing is with it is like at these events they're paid staff, so they should be trained or at least know what's going on, and at least know what to do in that situation, you know, rather than just standing there and doing nothing. What do you want? He destroys the house, and then he's like, it's time for snuggling. Internet points equals coaching, credits which equals prize money, effectively. I don't think Alex is starting a coaching service anytime soon, but yeah, usually that's the way to make money. That's the real prize. I think the issue with competitive play as a whole is that some people think they have no value in the community if they aren't winning. I think that pressure gets too much for some people. Yeah, I think especially when people's businesses rely on it, when they're like, quote unquote, coaching, you know? I think definitely you kind of like start to run into that issue. You stop scratching my screen, bruh. So yeah, so I think the thing is with like ITC and like rankings and stuff like that, even if there is no prize, the prize is gloating rights, you know, and it's obviously like a very male dominated hobby. So like lad culture and like bettering and like being the top dog in a situation is very, very, it's very large and very noticeable in Warhammer because of the fact that there's a like a clear ranking system where it says you are better than other people, and you just get like the not the alpha male is in like, you know, I want to get women, but like the I'm the best in the room type shit, you know. Pressure to perform is not an excuse for that or to be an ass tail cheat. No, I totally agree. I think as I mentioned, I think it's a symptom rather than like an excuse, right? I come from Magic the Gathering background and could 100% see the value in similar judge program being rolled out for 40k AOS, etc. Yeah, because Games Workshop has an approved TO program, which is basically just like your events are registered with them, but there's no official like judging system. There's no official red card system. There's no official any sort of penalizing system. A lot of it is legacy from Frontline Gaming because they obviously made the ITC and then sold it for Games Workshop. There's like legacy stuff that they use that a lot of people follow, just because we used to follow the ITC when it was independent tournament circuit. Now we continue to follow it even though it's the international tournament circuit. But there's no like official Games Workshop. Like, you're running a tournament, here's the rules that we try and make everybody follow, here's like the judging system that everybody follows, etc. Which I think is like a real problem, to be honest. I think it is a real problem. So anyway, as I said, I was going back to the types of cheating that you need to watch out for.
But I've been doing it properly the whole time. Like, you can't just start getting angry with me because I'm asking you to stop moving models when you're putting them in place and then remeasuring, putting them back in places. There was a lot of stuff with like poorly explained intent, There were a couple of heroic situations. I gave him a bunch of takebacks as well in the early games. I probably, knowing Alex's reputation, shouldn't have, but you like to give someone the benefit of the doubt at the beginning of the game. But then every single one of those takebacks felt like it.
Inky, we're trying to have a really important discussion about cheating Warhammer players, and you're just trying to be cute, aren't you? Eh? You're just trying to come here. Baby, snuggling time, is it? Yeah. Jack, this is, by the way, this is every night. This is what I have to deal with every night. He's like, it's snuggle time now. And he'll usually make biscuits on my beard. Can I watch the video? Do you mind? Do you mind? Yeah? There we go. Anyway, if you don't like cats, unlucky. Jenny, do you know in quality control for TOs or judges? I'm shocked. Yeah, they kind of take like a hands-off approach. They take like a hands-off approach to tournaments. They don't offer anything in terms of like support for protocol, I think is the best way. They don't issue any protocols that people need to follow, except for the fact that it's like to be like just to clear things up and stuff. They don't have protocol except for like really obvious stuff like don't promote racism and don't have like fuck in your tournament title, but they don't have any protocol about organizing or running the event, which I think is starting to show a little issue, and I think it probably should. We should have. Bro, you played my video and muted it, bro. Can you not? I love you too. You are the cutest cat in the world, barring your sister, who's also the cutest cat. How's this? So I think we need like a protocol. Games Workshop could do with like thinking about an ITC like format. There's like a protocol about judging, about cheating. Because a lot of people call for like lists of cheaters, but then there's a big problem with GDPR and sharing names and emails of people who you've never met before and they've not given permission to share that information. There's a lot of little things that we could do, but there's a lot of like legal things that they need to do. If you publicly endorses or trains tiers, then they become responsible for what that tier messes up. Yes, that is probably why they probably don't want to do it, I think they could do with like a handbook, like a TO handbook that just kind of gives some very basic things of like, this is what we do in this situation, which I don't think would put them in any legal disputing. He's found the packaging. Go away. So I think like a handbook of like this is what we would do in a situation, and then this is no way endorsing your situation type thing, Imagine a DW tournament protocol, but I remind people of the clock rules. Also true. Can't believe we're getting cat pairing ASMR about Playco cheaters. I'm a man of many talents. What can I say? Can you not attack the packaging, please? No, this isn't for you. Bugger off. Bugger off. Go on, clear off. Clear off, you little rat bag. It's also the age-old problem of it's just a game losing power when people take it that serious, yet GW wants to keep it just a game aura. At that point, you need some rules written down. I mean, Games Workshop are like actively promoting the ITC. They've just like done a major partnership with the tournament organizing app. That is one of their main focuses. One of their main focuses is competitive 40k. And they kind of like have a super hands-on, but also hands-off approach, if that makes sense. They're hands-on of a lot of things, but there's some things that have got a complete hands-off approach, but they probably shouldn't be. That's where I'm kind of. I'm going to rewind a little bit because I don't know how much I've missed.
There was a lot of stuff with like poorly explained intent. There were a couple of heroic situations. I gave him a bunch of takebacks as well in the early games. I probably, knowing Alex's reputation, shouldn't have, but you like to give someone the benefit of the doubt at the beginning of the game. But then every single one of those takebacks felt like it was weaponized against me. That's one of those things where you give someone a takeback and then they take it, and then next time they give you a takeback that's relatively small, and then you try to stop giving them takebacks. And like, well, I just gave you takebacks. You're like, oh, it's not the same car. So it's difficult. And I really want to put it out there that this game is not normal. It's not the game that someone should expect. And it's the kind of game that should be handled properly. Now, I don't want...
The thing is with that is, I totally agree. I totally understand what Innes is saying with his, like, take-back argument. He's kind of like, well, I gave you a take-back. Well, I gave you a little take back here, so I should get a big take back there. The problem is with any sort of take back, I think trying to quantify the level of a take back, because obviously what we're referring to is like, oh, I missed something. Do you mind if I go back? You know, that's kind of like what we're introduced, like what we're talking about, what the situation is. And he's saying that like, well, I let Alex have a big take back, and then when I had a little take back, Alex would expect another big take back. You know, I don't think you can quantify like a value of take back. It's kind of like if you have one, then they get, if you're gonna exchange take backs, you know what I mean? If that's what you want to do, which I don't think works either. I don't think exchanging them works. I think, yeah, they're like contextual. It's like something important that should have happened that I said was going to happen, we haven't done, so let's go back and do it. I don't think you can quantify like kind of like, well, you had two little take backs, so I'm going to have one big take back, you know? But I totally understand what he's trying to say. I totally appreciate what he's trying to say, but I think it's difficult, especially after the fact when we haven't seen the situation. We're just going off one side of the argument. It's hard to like put a value on how big of a take back compared to how big you're getting, etc. You can't argue one take back based on another. They're all on good nature of the opponent. Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate where this is coming from. I totally understand what you're trying to say. He might be like, oh, I forgot to pile in your mind, compared to, oh, I've seen my secondaries and and do you mind if I pick up a unit that's going to deep strike next turn? You know, and I've just drew sabotage or whatever. Like very, very different levels of take back, but take back nonetheless. You know what I mean? It's kind of like allowing someone to do something that was missed, that is optional, you know, or even sometimes not optional, but still. I don't know, I think in a competitive event you should be doing takebacks at all, to be fair. I totally agree, but the problem is we play games, especially in this instance, you're playing games for 9 to 12 hours a day, you know what I mean? I think everyone's going to make mistakes, and I think in a game of Warhammer, the game of Warhammer is too big and long to not allow any takebacks, I think. To not have like that understanding with your opponent is like things are going to get forgotten, so we're both going to kind of like let's sort things out, you know. So let's just agree on 0 takebacks. Yeah, that's the thing. Have you ever played in a tournament where you're playing 12 to 15 hours a day? You know, because you're playing 5 games in a day sometimes. I think there's a lot of things that get forgotten that are mandatory as well. There's a lot of things that happen that are like, especially when we talk about takebacks, is that are mandatory actions that get forgotten or missed. You know, and it's like, well, I'll just go back and do that then. Take back, Street Boys. So yeah, I think takebacks are a very normal thing in competitive 40k. Again, the game's too long and complex. There's too many interactions to think about every single thing that happens to make sure you're playing a perfect game. So I think it's very understandable. But then the problem is whilst I appreciate and empathize. Whilst I empathize with Innes and his idea of like the level of takebacks, it's hard to quantify it later on, you know what I mean? Or even at the time. Takebacks back all right. Maybe that's the problem. The game's too big. Yeah, I agree. Gotchas are worse now, and a good reason to allow some takebacks. Yeah, there's a lot of like built-in gotcha rule. There's a lot of built-in gotcha rules in the game now. Reactive moves, counter charge. Overwatch being like a prime, well-known example, but there's a lot of like, built-in gotchas to the game, and they're not really gotchas, but they're rules that you kind of need to think about that you will forget while moving. You know, oh, if you move within 9, I can move, for example. It's one of those. It's kind of like you've got to be totally open with your opponent. I always say that Warhammer is a collab hammer right now, and it's kind of like it's called, I call it collab hammer, because you should be helping your opponent, reminding them of anything that they need to remember whilst they're playing, because the game is too big. In other games like Magic the Gathering, you are a closed book. You don't tell your opponent anything they should know. But it's also like in Warhammer, there's too much going on. The game's too long to kind of go, well, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'll tell you at the start of the game. You'll just have to remember. You know, it's like, it's the, you should be helping your opponent, reminding them of the reactions that they have that you might forget while playing. Are you okay? Just bite me hand now. For what it's worth, I agree with Innis here. Even if Alex gave him a take back, he is not beholden to give one back for any reason. Yeah, so like, whilst I agree with Innis, I think that situation is just like an interesting one, you know?
I go into the full details of everything. Obviously, it's not my place to say, you know, and I don't want to say that Alex was, like, I don't necessarily think Alex was cheating at any point in this game. I just think it was an incredibly difficult.
If you charge this unit, I fight first, might want to reconsider kind of help. Yeah, exactly that, you know? You need to play with intent and play transparently with your opponent. Exactly. Compared to like you mentioned, like card game, Magic the Gathering background, that's not what you do. But Magic the Gathering is 3 rounds of 20 minutes, you know? I would love to see changes to the game that made 2-hour process, max 90 minutes preferably, be simplified rules or reduced time size, but you can take way too long at the moment. So I actually spoke to so I'll just say GW staffers, okay, about like balance of 40k a couple of months ago. I spoke to them kind of like, I said, like, I really enjoyed the game. And I'll just say this person was playing AdMech at the time, okay? So not Josh, no. They were playing AdMech at the time. And I was like, I really love the game, but it's a shame that the only way you can play that army well is by taking, like... Inky, stop sitting on the keyboard. It's a shame the only way you can play that army well is by swarming the board with so many models. And he was like, I'll like paraphrase. I'm not like quoting a GW employee here, but like just like for paraphrase, I think like the general design, the design problem that they're having is, I said they feel like they've got the game in a pretty good point by with the balancing and stuff. They've got it like balance wise, they've got it into a really good point. It's the problem is, as soon as they start increasing points to reduce the game, the balance goes completely out of whack. Because if they go 20% increase or 25% increase on every army, you know, so your 2,000 point army now feels like a 1,500 point army, your 2,000 point armies was a 1,500 point army, so now they're getting smaller. The army coherency and the things you have in the army, the tools you have in an army, completely change because you can't take as much. So even though you're fighting against less, you can't take all the same tools, so you can't just go, oh, I'll just increase everyone's army points by 25%, so everyone's playing smaller, because the balance goes out of whack. It's why when people say, oh, I'm playing 1,000 points, people usually reply, well, the game's not balanced at 1,000 points, it's balanced at 2k, because the game is balanced in a way where you can take all of those units, so you can have all these tools in your toolbox to play a game and be competitive or be well balanced against another army. So that's the struggle that they're having right now. Is kind of like, how do we go about making the game balanced but also making the game smaller, because they don't like changing rules for balance. They sometimes have to, but they've been open and honest. Can you not bite my controller, please? No. They know that they hate changing rules. They hate balance updates and stuff like that. They do not like... Stop moving my monitor, bro. They do not like changing the rules because they know it annoys people. That's the last thing they want to do. But the only other option they have is points. And the problem with points is, to make other armies better, they make them cheaper. So you need more. And AdMech and Leagues of Votann being a prime example of very, very expensive armies, because the only way to compete is to run a horde. And they don't want that, but it's they've kind of like prioritized balance over time at this point. You know? So, hopefully you found that interesting, because I did. I was like, that's really interesting, that makes a lot of sense. I'm excited to see what you do. And that was me saying, yeah, good luck. Honestly, like, how dare you pay attention to us and not really drop everything to give all the attention to your cat? I know. He's having the best time, but he's just being a little shithead. He's in snuggle mode. He's in being cute snuggle mode. It's like mid-afternoon nap time, you know what I mean? It's like afternoon nap time. Let me catch up. What was chat saying? Shock Alex would be a cunt at the table. I mean, a year ago, he'd be like, huh. Now, maybe. I agree it would take a full rewrite design. It's balanced for 2K. Yeah, so I think we might see something big happen in 11th edition in terms of like the size of armies. But you look at like Age of Sigmar, I think they found a great balance, you know. Age of Sigmar having like a really big they have a really small army size compared to 40k. But then you look at like Old World, that's even more models, but obviously they're cheaper. You'd think for like a fantasy game, you'd have more models, but Age of Sigmar is a much smaller game that's played in probably 2.5 now. You know, in like a competitive environment, you're setting the table up and stuff. 2.5 is pretty reasonable. Most people still play 3 hours just so there's loads of time. But like the actual game doesn't take that long. It just means you get bigger breaks in between. Might be unpopular opinion. I'd rather rules would change to make things balanced. It doesn't annoy me at all. Sadly, Randomo, I agree, but I think it is the unpopular opinion because people hate balance changes. They hate books being out of date, etc. That was a big thing from their surveys. They didn't like... Most people don't like rules changes, you know? Use AI to balance the game. That's the dumbest thing I've ever read in my chat. That is the dumbest thing ever. It's like super skirmish. Yeah, exactly. It's the... Like, Age of Sigmar feels like a large skirmish game, you know, rather than like a large army game now. Sigmar has the benefit of not having 20 plus years of baggage like the 40,000 does at this stage. Different expectations, different design methodologies. Yeah, but the thing is with this, Games Workshop have changed it, you know? They've kind of changed everything. Oh, you just wanted to make biscuits, you kind of... Chat is half sat on me. And he just wanted to make biscuits. You want to hear the purrs? Chat, I'm having a serious conversation about about Warhammer. Let me turn noise suppression off. I can't turn my mic that far. They want to hear you. Can I hold you up to the camera? What have you got to say about competitive 40k? I'd like your comments on Alex, please. Alex versus Ines, please comment. There you go. Little shithead destroying the carpet this morning. Now you're eating your mum's glasses, aren't you? Can you not? Can you not? Stop it. Come here, little shithead. Ugh. Such a stupid boy, aren't you? Eh? Stupid boy. So yeah, anyway, where were we? Can I hold you and read chat? Are you gonna get annoyed at that? I was going into them today. This is what he's like every day. You just don't usually see it on stream. I think because his nose is in trouble this morning for like making a mess. So now he's trying to make up for it. But yeah, he's like this every night. But yeah, he doesn't do it during the day often. Normally George is here for a couple of days a week as well. And then sometimes he just goes and naps, but he's decided he wants snuggle naps today. Yeah, but AOS has 800 point models that are competitive, so you have 1,200 points of dudes left. Yeah, for sure. Maybe we need some 800 point models in 40k, you know? Can you not just... Come on, dude. Can you not bite your mum? Can you not bite the glasses? Come away. Come away. Come here. Come here. Sit here. There we go. I wish 40k was the size of AOS would be much more enjoyable. Yeah, I agree. Now you're attacking the monitor, aren't you? Can you not? He's just like sitting all over my keyboard, pressing buttons, and then attacking my monitor every time I pick him up. Look, what's wrong with this? Eh? What's wrong with that? Can you hear him? You probably can't because of suppression, one sec. I should get a button that turns noise suppression off because I can't turn it off fast enough before it gets bored. What are you doing? God damn it. God. Sorry, everyone who hates cats. I don't care about your opinion. People don't like rule changes because they pay for the books if the rules are free. Yeah, it always comes back to the common denominator. Rules should be free. I agree. Anyway, chat, I have cats. Cats need food. Become a member if you haven't already. Let's go crack on with the video anyway. Let's see what else Innis has got to say.
I am not traditionally someone who takes a long time to play my games, but when your opponent makes the game willfully difficult, this game took 2 time, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. And, you know, that was the game ending on 3 with me rushing through my last turn to get through, like, some semblance of a turn 4, which is really difficult.
Innis is someone who plays super fast as well, so it's surprising to hear that he clocked out. Even if both players clocked out, I think, like, obviously this is all anecdotal, but Innis is not someone who usually, like, runs out of time, you know? He's known for playing GSC. He's known for playing GSC and winning games within, like, an hour, you know? He's not quite people like Nassim levels, where Nassim is, like, tabling his opponent in about 40 minutes. But, like, he plays quick, so it's surprising to hear that he played slow, which obviously then adds to the question of, like, is there an issue here with Innis, or is there an issue with another player, you know? In my personal opinion, anyway.
Someone weaponize the clock. It's things like, okay, I'm going to start moving my models, and then you question every coherency pile-in I make, right? You're like, oh, I don't think you're going closer there. Oh, I don't think that guy's in range. I don't think that guy's in range. I don't think that guy can go there. And it was just that at every single instance of every movement that I made that was remotely relevant. And that was really hard to manage as I'm playing a horde army. You know, I'm not saying that I was playing it perfectly. When you're moving that many models that quickly, some things are going to go slightly askew. Of course they are. But it's very difficult to manage that while the clock is on the other side of the board, or when you know, like at some points when you can't just be passing the clock back and forth. I would also raise
question rules without stopping the clock is no one way to cheat the clock. Yeah, for sure. That's the thing, is like, if you are using the chess clock, again, 99% of people, just remember, never forget this point when we're talking about these things. These things are way more interesting to talking about than you having a nice game with your opponent, you know? You had a nice game, great time, you know? I love that you had a nice game with your opponent, okay? Cool. What's more interesting to talk about is the negative times that you had with an opponent, right? And the thing is like, yeah, there's like things here that it sounds like there was like some manipulation of the chess clock where it was kind of like a good time to ask your opponent what rules do, what things do, asking them things, and generally just like bothering your opponent almost to a fault where they're like having to waste time on their chess clock to answer your questions, because at one point you're gonna have to go, yo, you're taking the piss now, click over to your time, and that's something you should do. Obviously, when you're fucking 6 rounds into 40k, you're gonna be less. You're gonna not want to do anything with. You just want to play the game. You know what I mean? You just want a nice game. You don't want confrontation. But yeah, like manipulating the chess clock and weaponizing the chess clock is a very common tactic to time someone out. But then they timed out themselves, so I didn't really give them that much of an advantage, which is quite funny.
Things like,
come here. He's just fucking chewing everything. I might have to go feed him in a minute. Just keep him getting away for 20 minutes. Maybe he'll sleep afterwards. I told you multiple times to stop chewing them. God, sorry, chat. He's just being a fucking bugger today. You've eaten. Come on. Sit here. Let's watch this video together, eh? Let's watch this video.
During the early game, we weren't passing clock back and forth for saves, and then very suddenly on turn 4, when Alex was getting low, we were passing the clock back and forth for saves, which is like, I always think that's a little bit rude. You know, if you're doing things one way and then you change it to another, it's difficult. Now,
this is a problem I had with Age of Sigmar as well. You know, because I was playing the game in Age of Sigmar. I spoke about it on stream when it happened, but I was playing someone from Team England, and they were very aggressive with the clock, and I just called them out for it, and I kind of said, like, you're running out of time, I'm not, but you are being aggressive and trying to use my time to do your things. What he was doing is as soon as he rolled his dice, before even knowing how many dice he'd like wounded with, he'd change the clock over and be like, deal with it, you know? And I like called him out for it, because like chess clocks are a great tool for a fair game, but as soon as the thing is with like maliciousness, or even, you know, what they just like bad practice, poor sportsmanship, is that as soon as someone starts taking the piss, it doesn't matter what you're trying to use to make a fair game. It's already out the window, you know. It's already out the window. It's as soon as someone starts taking the piss or weaponizes or manipulates, it's too late. It doesn't matter what device you're using. There are always ways to manipulate it. And I had the same situation where I had to call out my opponent because every time they rolled dice, they'd have 20 dice in their hand, 3s to hit, pick up their dice, 2s to wound or whatever. And then as soon as they're throwing the dice on the table, bam, the clock was hit. And I was just like, you're taking the piss now. In 40k, we don't do this, okay? We don't click over for saves. I won't click over for your saves either, okay? If you got feel no pains to take, or you're going to start thinking about which model, I'm going to politely say, hey, mate, you're taking the time, so I'm going to click over to your time while you think, you know? But it's, like, not common for, like, something such as saves because it is literally... like, you're telling me a number, I'm counting dice and throwing them, you know? That is usually what it boils down to. And the amount of times I'm doing it, we can do it on your time as well, when on my time, when you're rolling saves as well, it balances out. But yeah, it's like, there's some things that, like, the clock etiquette is something that should be followed. If not, yeah, you just gain an advantage of your opponent by cheating, by manipulating the thing that it's supposed to bring fairness to the game. It's just a manipulation tactic again. Ironically, clock have a rule set to them, so it becomes another set of rules to keep track of. So I find them counterintuitive to a fair game. It just has layers of complication for a lot of people. I think clocks are very easy to follow, and I think understanding how to use a clock and even using a clock is super simple. But as long as you are both on the same page, it's not something you have to think about too much, you know? So I don't know if it adds a super high level of complication. I think a lot of people get scared of them, but I would say I just practice with one. Don't follow it, but I'd like practice with one. Just so, like, even like when you go to a bathroom, leave it running if you want to. Or pause it when you go for a piss. Obviously, in a normal tournament, you wouldn't do that. But, like, if you're having it like a casual game and you're thinking, I'm playing a little bit slow, try using a chess clock. Just get used to it. Just get practice. But to be constantly thinking, okay, I've done my turn, I'm going to click over to my opponent. And you'll soon realize how much time people take in casual games to think about doing things that are really menial and really don't mean anything. So
I don't say this at all to just try to take away. Alex played this game well. He took his approach in, he knew what he was doing, and he applied the right kinds of pressure to make it sure that when he went first, my list did not have a good chance of getting out of that situation. But it would be nice to play this game in the spirit it was intended, and I don't think that we did a good job of that. And I definitely got heated with Alex back, right? That's another part of the problem, is that when you're playing a difficult game like this, it's really easy to just get sucked into it. Where at one point, I went to do probably I would call a pretty rude gotcha. Like, he fired one gun at a unit of 20 that was sitting in my backfield. I was like, well, I'm going to lift it now. And we had said at the beginning that we weren't going to do gotcha games like that. And then I get heated in the moment, and we took that back and we didn't do it. We shot it at something else, and it was fine. But it's still not great to be put yourself in this situation, and that's only happening because you're getting flustered in a game state. Like, neither of us want to be doing that. Well, I certainly didn't want to be doing that. I can't speak to Alex's mindset. So yeah, I want to just.
So yeah, it's tough though, isn't it? Because that's just something I would do. I'm like, well, fuck you then. I'd be the self-sabotage. I totally empathize where it's coming from. But yeah, it's kind of like, if you're gonna be in a shit situation, you do kind of have to keep your moral high ground. You know what I mean? He's so salty. No, he isn't. Well, really, she's talking shit now. That's two dumb things you've said today. Yeah, he's just like, you do have to kind of keep your level-headed and keep your high ground and be like, if they're being a knobhead, I've got to make sure I'm playing my perfect game. You know what I mean? It just comes down to people with a win at all cost attitude versus trying to win while playing a fair way. Yeah, because Innis is one of those types of people, I think. I honestly think, he's that type of person that if he loses, he knows why. Bit rude, you're being a cunt in chat, okay? Who's the rude one? You don't have to be here, I don't care. You said two dumb things in chat now, okay? He's throwing off a chain of thought as well, which is annoying me even more. That's strike 3. Yeah, so like he will totally accept when he's lost, and he'll happily be outplayed, but not maliciously. Unsubbed and reported, okay, banned forever. I don't care, bye. He left a cunt of a comment on my YouTube video the other day as well, and I was just like, that is such a cunt. And I see him in chat all the time, always saying something dumb. All right, unsubbed and reported. It's not an airport, bro. It's not an airport. I don't have to say you're departing. Just leave. Just leave. Just drive away.
Just saying that it was the most unpleasant game of Warhammer I've ever played in my life. I will probably not continue going to UKTC events while Alex is allowed to attend them. He's had a ban from them before, and I am not interested in repeating this experience. I do not have any UKTC events scheduled for the time being. I've obviously submitted a complaint. I've had a bit of report from it. I spoke to the judges on the day, and they encouraged me to make the complaint. So
the thing is with it is I can't, ironically, I believe it was the year that I streamed the LGT, you know, because I streamed the LGT in 2018, 2019, a while ago. And there's a little bit of a situation. And I believe they're the same year. I might just be remembering incorrectly, but hear me out. That this situation, I just don't remember if it was the same time. Is that when I streamed the LGT, we had the invitational finals on the Saturday night between Joshua Death and Nick Nanavati. And midway through the game, about an hour and a half in, 2 hours in, the game was going slow, but it wasn't going crazy slow. But it was like, there's a good hour on the clocks left or something like that. Essentially what happened is the judge came over and said, we've got to end the game because the venue is closing, you know? The game has got to end because the venue is closing, and said that on stream, which makes it funnier. We said that on stream, and so we were like, oh, okay, the venue is closing, so they've got to end the game. And then afterwards, there was public announcements saying that the players had misused their chess clocks and the venue wasn't closing, but they had run out of time. And then that same year, I think, is the year that they banned Alex Harrison publicly and kind of like strung him up for something. I don't think it was the same time. I think even like the Jeff Robinson stream he got banned after that. I'm like 90% sure. It kind of felt like, at the time, I think Alex was being a knobber, but it also felt like they kind of threw him under the bus to kind of like deviate some blame for other things. It felt like at the time. I'm speaking totally just from memory. I might be getting these dates mixed up. The situation with the venue is closing is a public clip, so it's not something you can lie about. But I'm trying to remember if that was the same time, because if I remember correctly, it felt like to me at the time it was kind of like a bus, like throwing him under the bus type situation, whether he'd been cheating or whatever. I don't particularly remember that, because that wasn't water bottle gate, that was before, I think. So yeah, he was banned for a while, but then he was never publicly unbanned. He just started turning up again. Obviously there probably like been private conversations, but there was like a big thing saying that Alex was banned on Facebook. I remember seeing that for sure. And then suddenly he wasn't unbanned. And I as I mentioned at the start, I'm very much a believer in second chances and giving people a second chance to redeem themselves. But if this is the situation we got again, it's kind of like a problem, right? You know, it's kind of like, oh, the same attitude is coming out. The poor sportsmanship attitude is coming out. So, and again, I'm not saying Alex is cheating in this situation, but I'm just saying it's the poor sportsmanship is the problem. So,
yeah. That's all I kind of want to say here. But I think the main thing the reason I'm doing this is because I don't think it's fair to the wider community that they will have to continue experiencing games like this, because if it's happening to me, it's happening to everybody. I'm one of the most known players in the game. If people feel comfortable doing this to me, what are they doing to people that don't have a platform, that don't have a reputation? People like this, I don't think they should be allowed to be involved in the community in the capacity they are. I certainly don't think they should be winning super majors. So if I don't say something, who's going to in this situation? I think that's all I'm going to leave it at for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's kind of like, if this is happening to Innis, one of the most well-known players in 40k, what's happening on other tables, and that's what always worries me. We talk about what happens on live streams, we talk about what happens on camera, etc., what people do, and then we could talk about these situations where a well-known player is talking about another well-known player, What's happening on tables where where they're not well known and don't feel like they have a voice to say something, you know? They can complain to a TO, but they'd rather just kind of like forget about the game and just move on, you know? Because there's a lot of that, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of that. What happens on those tables, you know? I'm going to say it's not just not happening, you know? Personally, I don't think it's just not happening. I just think it's not being talked about. It's just like that could put someone off the hobby forever. Yeah. If someone is giving someone who's a poor sportsman a hard game, the poor sportsman will come out to win the game, you know? That's all it is. Win at all costs is the default attitude in professional sports, and I believe it's trickling down to all other competitive environments. Yeah, for sure.
Apologize for the bit of the negative talk to start off the episode. I had a fantastic rest of the tournament. My game with Scary was one of the best games of my competitive career, and I had a fantastic weekend. And I'd go back to Manchester in a heartbeat if I played the first 5 games. I don't care at all what you think, Alex, and you can move on. And I'm gonna ban you. So
I didn't know he banned Alex from the chat. Is there a live chat replay? Live chat replay? No live chat replay. Oh, wait. Can we see the messages? Come on, show me the messages.
Thank you.
Yeah, if he banned him, he would have deleted them all, to be fair. I didn't know he got banned from the chat live. That's quite funny, to be honest. That's quite funny.
But yeah, I don't actually care at all what you have to say, Alex. Thank you very much, but good luck.
I think he was quite I think Innis was quite professional in that regard. I don't think he needed to I don't think he needed Alex in the chat to, like, you know, defend his piece, because he was kind of talking about inexperience. He didn't exactly say Alex was cheating. He just said he was acting like uncouthly, you know, he was like acting unprofessionally, which I think is like a very like level-headed, balanced approach to that sort of situation, you know. Introduce gamer tags tied to ITC points, avoid the data issues, and that we can have a record of people's poor sportsmanship. Yeah, you just need a complete redo there, right? So most people, I think, don't want the grief on their fun weekend away, so tend to just go, you have the win because you want it more, then kind of just move on because they don't want the beef. Yeah, for sure. That obviously doesn't make that behavior right, though, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, people won't come out and talk about stuff like that. People won't talk about these situations because, again, like you say, they don't want the beef. But these situations are happening, which is a shame, really. You know, it's what you don't want. Oh, now Team England feels now. Will they like box you? Nah, because you don't play TTS enough. And too right. I can't believe they didn't let him on a team when he wasn't acting like a team player. That's crazy. So yeah, fair play for this for saying something. Let's see what else he's got to say. I didn't realize he banned him live in stream. That's really funny.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we move on?
Yes. I will say that I thank you for bringing that up, Innes, and I thank you for talking about it in details. I think a lot of the
also, I love Nathan. I would listen to his voice is so deep and calm, and he would just put me to sleep. He's got such a nice voice. Not to like fawn over him, but
tends to take their experiences and just kind of bury them off to the side and not talk about them in detail. And I appreciate you like being just honest and kind of mature about the process and about like the game result kind of being already foretold, but about the experience itself. I think it's important that we do talk about our negative experiences. That doesn't mean like brigading and like pitchforks, but it does mean that we talk about our experiences honestly and maturely and kind of make sure that people understand who is and isn't behaving well in our community at all times. Yeah. Let's get into stats. We can talk about the last couple of weeks. I'm going to talk about them in summary, folks, when we talk about...
So yeah, fair play to Innis for saying something. He kind of said like he's not going to go to another UKTC event until Alex is banned. I think there's lots of reasons not to get to UKTC events, but that's a good one, I guess. That is a good one. So yeah, fair play to him. I think there should be open dialogue about problematic people. Sadly, I don't think this is the best format for it, but that is only because there isn't a good format for it. There isn't a public complaints list. There's a private complaints list, as I mentioned. There's no tournament handbook. There's no like public report system or anything like that, which is understandable why, but I do think this is the only good option to kind of like say your piece and call someone out for something, because there is no other option, you know? I think there should be a better system of like kind of going, we've had a really bad player, maybe we should do something in this circuit, but there should be something, a repercussion in our circuit because this person is a problem, you know? I wonder if sportsmanship should be a score component of events. Would that fix issues like this? No, because I think that just breeds toxic positivity, you know, of someone just being like overly nice. I played at events where there's like a big sportsman prize and they're just like actual kiss asses to a point where it's annoying. So no, I don't think that's the answer. You know what I mean? It's like there's like a level of just like, I don't think linking sportsmanship to prizes, I think there should just be a better penalization system, you know? There should just be penalization and judges who know what to do or know who to get who knows what to do in negative situations on the table, especially if they're stood watching. Like, if they're stood watching and they're not doing anything, then maybe they should be not standing at that table, or their response should be, I should get someone who knows what they're doing, you know? Or not to be rude, but like, I should get someone who knows what to do in this situation, I should say. We've got another cat. Cloud, what are you doing? But chat, you have to remember, it's not about the prize, it's about the ranking, okay? UKTC has a bottle of champagne, but it says Imperium on it. It's just a cheap bottle of champagne that says Imperium on it, okay? They're not bothered about prizes. It's not prizes that are bringing the worst people out. It's the ITC points and wanting to win and bragging rights. That's all they care about. Cloud, what are you doing? Don't go on there. Come on. Thing is, the tickets are not cheap. When you get there, as an experience, it isn't great. No, I mean, it's why I try and do better, right? I personally try and make sure everyone has a good experience. I try to make the events fun. I put people in nice venues, nice terrain and stuff like that. People like going to UKTC, even if they know they're just going to a different gym hall in a different city. You know, personally, that's not for me. If you want to go there, that's fine. But yeah, it's like you buy an expensive ticket, you put in a gym hall. The least you expect is a tournament organized, and the tournament is organized, but then once it's running, that's it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the bare minimum, if you are going to a tournament, the bare minimum is to have at least people, if you run into a situation, to have competent judges. I had the same problem at UKTC event. I was really annoyed by it because I called for a judge. Like, I spoke about it on stream at the time. I made a video about it. I called for a judge, and my opponent was saying that they were going to continue playing even though they clocked out. And then I said, can you explain the chess clock rules to my opponent when they've run out of time? And they explained them, and I said, well, they continued to play, and the judge walked off. Didn't do anything and just walked off. And I was really annoyed by that. I was really fucked off by it. And ever since then, I've kind of like sworn off these events because it's kind of like the venue isn't nice, and then the judging isn't good, you know? And they should, if they're going to pay people, they're going to have these staff members or whatever, the bare minimum they should do is get someone who knows what they're doing, you know? That's the bare minimum. If your judge is at a table and doesn't know what to do, they should get someone who knows what to do, you know? That's the bare minimum of just like, you're running a tournament, you've got a competition, someone's being a prick on the table, deal with it, you know? And it's like, there's multiple times of this happening where it's not being dealt with, you know? And even when the judge is there, it's still not being dealt with. So like, at what point, at what level do people go, I'm not dealing with this, you know? I'm not publicly calling for anything, just to make that super clear. I'm just saying, me as a customer, You know, why would I? If you don't know how to deal with the conflict, get someone who will deal with the conflict, you know? So yeah. Well, we've been waiting for that for years, so players better understand how to deal with players like Alex. Yeah, I think it's a real tough one. It's a real tough one because there needs to be a system, and people are crying out for a system to deal with problematic players. Not just Alex in particular, but any problematic player. And there isn't one. And until we get that, what do we do? You know? It's all rabble rousing is how the French Revolution started. Not just have TOs, but have TOs that are not scared of confrontation. Imagine a footballer getting sent off, but then he just stays on the pitch. Yeah, exactly, mate. It's the same, right? It's exactly the problem. It's like if you don't know how to deal with the confrontation, either don't be there or get someone who does. You know, whenever I run events, you know, the people who help me run events, you know, my TOs, my judges, they are for rules questions, and if there's a big confrontation, like a conflict, their job is to find me, you know? That's their job. Their job is to find me, because I'll deal with it, because ultimately it's I'm the boss, you know what I mean? I'm the guy, I'm the face of it all. So if there's a problem or something goes tits up, I'm there dealing with it, you know? Rather than me hearing about it afterwards or whatever. Their job is, if there's confrontation, they're there to answer rules questions, mediate like rules queries, etc., interactions and stuff like that. But if there's like an altercation of like aggressiveness or whatever, their job is to come find me. They don't deal with it. So, and that should be the same here. If they can't deal with it, if they're not trained to deal with it, because I presume they're like paid staff, right? You know, I presume they're all paid staff. If they're paid staff and they can't deal with it, then they need to be trained in how to deal with it, to be honest. Ink. Get down. Come on, clear off. So yeah, there's more as well. There's a Reddit post about Manchester as well, and it kind of just like, I haven't read this yet, but I saved it. It says, my experience of GTs up to Manchester Supermajor and the extra skill you need to competitive play, managing awful players. So it's not like a single time. I wonder if this person played against Alex. The clock situation might call because they introduced 150 plus models. I heard the ref at the table was actually on charge of the clock halfway through the game. I don't know. Could be, potentially. Don't know. Anything that mention it, he normally finishes his games on time, but I'm speaking anecdotally. You know. Manchester just ended. It confirmed something I learned from previous GTs, that you need another skill for competitive play, that managing the other awful player. Let's have a look. They come in a variety, but the main one is overly competitive player who isn't as good as he thinks he is. Maybe not Alex then. GTs are full of this type of person. They're usually solid 2-3 players with some luck 3-2, but they have aspirations of 4-1, which is just not going to happen. This is very condescending. Condescending start. They're very experienced. They're using a copied tournament winning list, and they'll be going back to the club where they have to report back their record. This is one of the reasons why they're too competitive. Yeah, it's always the reason most people are competitive is for fucking bragging rights. That's all it is these days. And what I mean by that is they're so focused on winning, they'd much rather win than have a good game. And they're awful to play. Mainly as you can't trust them as far as you can throw them. Think? Chat, where did he go? Where did my cat go? Oh, you're there. Right, okay. He's on my other chair. That's fine. Mainly as you can't trust them before you can throw them. I might be unlucky, but I get these players a lot. They'll never consider themselves cheats, and that's a very strong word. But they want to win so badly once they're put under pressure. Once they think they might be losing, they become completely unfun and start to take liberties. Yeah, this is like mid-table warrior, like a term like mid-table warrior. There's like, I think at the bottom end of a tournament, you usually get you usually get like people who are just there for a chill time, you know, especially like later rounds. They're just like, they're already losing. They just want a few beers or whatever, you know. And then top of the tables, kind of everybody's up there all the time. They're very well known for being up at the top tables a lot of the time. They're usually not new to it. And there's like a level of respect between them, and especially because a lot of people know each other at the top. The mid tables, however, is always been a problem. As a TO, they're usually where I get the most problems. It's the very top table in the final round. Usually a couple of problems, but like usually because I'm just watching that game anyway. And then mid tables, okay, especially later rounds, because people are so desperate to go 3-2 in a 5-round event. They're so desperate to go positive win record. It's actually wild how desperate some people get. And the what it brings out in people is actually like really shit. Sometimes disgusting, you know, like some of the behaviors. Because people are so desperate to go positive and not go home 2-3 or 1-4, you know what I mean? Which I think some people should go home 1-4, you know? I think should people go home 5 losses when they took a competitive list, because I think some people just need to be humbled. Sometimes people just need to be humbled, in my opinion. Because I think it's character building, because I think until then, yeah, you get problems where people, the mid-table warriors, as it's kind of like been known as like colloquially known, it's kind of like when people are trying to pull out all the stops just so they don't get like a negative win record where they get a 40% win. They want a 60% because it sounds better. And yeah, it's just like insecurity about like having to go and be like, oh, how'd you do that event this weekend? Oh, I lost all my games. You know? Inky. Ink. Oi! You stop biting shit, please. He's biting my hair dry now. Trying so hard not to be mean about Atlanta. Yeah, I got humbled in Atlanta. You know, I'm a better person for it. I went 1 win, 1 draw, and 6 losses. Very different event, though. But guess what? I had a good time. I was also super ill. Pretty sure I had norovirus. Pretty sure I had something gross. But yeah, I've gone to events that I like literally back to back in Age of Sigmar in October. Sorry, I went to the GAF tournament. I lost 1 game, won 4. I took the same list a week later and won 1 and lost 4. You know, I won 2 maybe, I think. Even so, I came away with like a pretty shit win record compared to the week before. But guess what? I just took it on the chin, took it my stride, because the last thing I want to do is like become a knobhead in the mid tables, just desperately trying to win. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter unless you win the tournament. It doesn't matter what your record is. Sorry, just take it on the chin, you know. And it does bring out the weight in people. Wargaming game about communication and trust. It cannot be silenced, nor can it be enjoyed if you have watched other players like a hawk for when they make accidental errors massively in their favour. Common things you'll spot are moving extra inch or 2 for, failing to take out all of their failed rolls before moving on to the attack sequence, not telling you what they're doing, they just start throwing dice and then sometimes just outright cheating. Yeah, it's just like, ugh. Going into round 5 with 2 wins, 2 losses, and you draw the guy with the list that just won a super major, you know, going to be a rough ride. Yeah, exactly, and that's where that's probably where the worst gamer is. You know, I would say. Let me catch up with chat. I missed a few. Do they have ITC points, penalties, tournaments, warnings cards? No, mate. It's all individual events. What about anonymous reporting and have a number you can text? Not a bad idea, to be fair. I always say when I run a tournament, which I believe you've attended, if I remember. I think I know this username. But I think what I do is I always say, like, don't feel bad if I'm stood at a table. I walk to every table at an event, even if it's like 100 players. I'll go and see every table. And people are like, I'll like just go up and stand next to them and like, hey, yeah, you know. And they're like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, just come and say hi. Because what I do is I like Pavlov people into thinking I'm just watching, you know. I'm like, yo, I'm just here to say hi. But then what that does is it's actually a really tricky one for me. If someone messages me and say, hey, I've got a problem player, I can just walk over, you know. and they don't think anything of it. I'm just walking over. But I think we need to be in a better situation where judges can just walk up to a table and then just like, not necessarily get involved if they don't need to, but there should be a situation where we can kind of go, yeah, I'm having a problem, you know, like a buzzer on the table almost, you know, hitting the buzzer, waiting for the timer to take it down. They can hit the buzzer and get rid of him. Yeah, like you should be able to contact a TO anonymously quickly so they can come over and then be like mediate any situation that you got, you know. You are Schrodinger's TO. Yeah, I just walk up and I say hi, you know. I do that every day. The start of the day, I do what I call the rounds, or start of every round, really. I just walk around every table. I go up to people and say, hey, you know. Because then, if there is an issue, it kind of like, if you never see a judge and then a judge randomly appears, there's an issue. If you see a judge every round and then a judge randomly comes to you mid-game, it might just be coming over to be a knobhead, because sometimes I just am. But sometimes I've been told to come over, you know? And that's kind of like where you want to be. You want to be able to like go into that. I personally think it's a good way to kind of like be an icebreaker initially, to be like, yo, I'm just a guy, just coming to hang out. But then you can also, if I do need to be in that situation, hopefully your guard is kind of like lowered because I've already spoke to you. We've already had a little natter. And if there is a situation that you feel free to call me, and if you're being in a situation, you're the problem, you don't feel like put out that I've just appeared at your table, you know? And speaking of, I do run events at the Outpost. You can use !shop in chat to grab a link if you want to come to a tournament. I'm running a Sigma one this month. I'm running a 40k one next month as well. This ticket's still available. So just saying, if you like good judging and you want to see it in action, come to one of my events. It'd be really cool. Inky's attacking the chair. Yeah, I know. But he's actually attacking his sister who's on the chair. So there's another cat on the chair. But I appreciate you keeping an eye. You should always let me know what my cats are doing behind my back. Where were I? It's a good place I sympathise with, but they need to advocate for themselves too. They pay to be there. They should be encouraged to make sure they don't let an ass ruin their event. No, I totally agree, Nathan. And that kind of like is the problem as well. It's kind of like another symptom of the problem is like you have problematic players, but then you also have people who don't say anything until post game, and it's like, well, I can't do anything now, you know? What do you want me to do? Punish him for a game that's already happened? I can't do that. Can confirm from my few talks outside being mid-table is cancer, always the worst people. Yeah. Last time I games but got blind drunk, event was a great time. I don't even drink. I hardly drink now. Let me catch up a little bit. A button on the table, that's actually theoretically possible. Raspberry Pi and a keyboard switch, Wi-Fi network, and an alert that triggers on a laptop. Yeah, it won't be too bad. That's a lot of buttons you're going to need, but... Just letting you know, because I had issues with my cat stacking furniture ruining it. Yeah, it's because his sister's right there, she's teasing him. I don't know if you can see. Oh, wait. Can you see the other cat? Like, you might see her moving around here. Can you see that? It's because what she's doing, she's sticking her paw out there, and then he's grabbing it. Can you see? Yo, Papaya, thanks for the gifted. Really appreciate it. Tom, can't believe you've just been gifted membership. Actual cringe. But yeah, you can see a little paw sticking out here. Wait for it. She's going to do it again. There. Can you see? Did you see? Did you see? Do you see the little paw sticking out and then Inky's attacking? So he's not attacking the furniture. It's his sister winding him up. It's very cute, actually. They do it quite a lot. But just like the little paw. Because that's what we do to them. So that it's like they're mimicking. It's quite cute. It's quite cute. I'll leave it like that so you can kind of see. Like Mercenary says, if you enjoyed the content, appreciate you. You can support it by becoming a member if you wanted to support the channel. You like what you see. Become a member as little as £1.99 a month. If you want to talk to me directly, you can join my WhatsApp group by becoming Parasocial Gang. And if you watch it on Twitch, !multi in chat, you can also Prime sub, which is also free. Should be really cool. Same with Airsoft. Airsoft, I run events and people don't say anything to the staff on the day and then go fun keyboard warrior after when it's a skill issue. Yeah, the thing is with it is it's much easier to avoid confrontation to complain online afterwards rather than complaining at the time. So people don't like dealing with confrontation in person. Bro, I'm a millennial. I don't even like phoning people, you know? I hate phoning people. It's awful. It's the same. It's the same issue. All my games are miserable experiences because of my opponents, all because players care about his final records and then telling their peers about it. Yo, David, thanks for the 31 months, bud. Appreciate it. What do you think the big nerf for Emperor's Children would be? Will they get nerfed? I'd be interested to see how they play. I've not played them yet. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't think they'll get nerfed. And this leads me to the point I realised from previous GTs that to become what I wanted in 40k, a 4-1 player... What have you got? What is that? How did you get the ball bearings out my drawer? I was like, what the fuck is that? It's fucking ball bearings for the paint. Guys, I'm having a really hard time with the cats today. I don't know if you've noticed. For me, I reckon the Lord of Host, Infiltrate, and Scout 6 will be gone. Yeah, maybe. Which one's the Lord of the Host? Let me just double check. Is that the auto? And the auto advance is a strat, right? Let me double check which one it was. The auto advance 6 is a bit crazy. Lord Exultant. I don't know if that'll go. I don't think there's anything like too wild in that book, to be honest. It's just like it's pretty good, but it's Marines. You know what I mean? They're not defensible. That's the problem. The book doesn't have any defensive strats, really. There's no defensive tactics in their book. You know, you can't build like a heavy defense book list. It's just all combat. It's all damage. That's all it is. Anyway, I want to be a 4-1 player. No way I'd ever get those 5-0. Those dudes play ridiculous amounts. I'd have to learn to manage the other player when they're like the above. My first game in Manchester began versus someone so miserable, so silent, it was like I'd cheated on his sister. Oh my god, they're talking about paintbrushes now. Cloud, Inky, come on now. That's an expensive paintbrush you've stolen. Where is it? Oh, he just knocked it off. Okay, you not knocked it, you just stuck it. Go back under there. God. Bloody cats. It's lunchtime, that's why. I'm going to have to do this and go. Anyway, I cheated on his sister. I realised right away I can't learn this skill. I don't want to learn this skill. I can't pace fight with my opponent all game to make sure they're not taking liberties. Even the fight to get them to tell me what they are doing before they do it is too exhausting. I can't understand how people come into games without any consideration for the other player, completely focused on winning at all costs, and not even prepared to explain what they need on their dice rolls. He just hurled them and expected me to know. Right off, I just gave up, even following what he was doing, and just waited to be told how many and what results I need on my saves. The problem is, though, mate, is if you just don't say anything, which I know you can't be bothered. I get it. I don't like phoning people. If you can't be bothered, then they're just going to do it in the next game, you know? And if you're not enjoying how a player is conducting them, that's when you call a judge. That's what I would say. Second red flag, immediately gave up. Yeah. If you immediately give up at this point, then in the first game, you're having a problem. Yeah, it's shit, Saturday morning. You don't want to have problems, but that's when you call a judge, you know? More particular examples of awful play by opponents from this GTO or my others really doesn't matter. Again, I might be unlucky. I've only had a few fun games at GTs out of many really unfun chores to get through, both wins and losses. I've had plenty of miserable games. Wins are not the deciding factor. And so I've realised that 4K competitiveness killed my plans of playing at GTs. I won't go to GTs again, not anyone care. I think RTTs are much smaller, are better and easy to communicate in less loud venues. Manchester was loud. Is this a symptom of just a terrible venue? You know? I think the problem is if we've got cheap venues and we just like cramming as many people as possible into them, it's just breeding a bad experience. And people... Me personally, I just think that just comes down to a bad experience at a type of venue, you know, a type of tournament. If you're apathetic after trying nothing to resolve the issue, I'm sorry, but you're not helping the situation. No, I agree. I agree. Volume is worth a side note, as 40k is very communication and trust. It's much harder with very loud background noises, further meaning you have to blindly trust your opponent. Unfortunately, my experience, you cannot. So I think this person's just been to UKTC events and not had a good time. And is that because big events are shit, or is it because UKTC events aren't for them? There's a lot of events out there, and I definitely recommend like trying a few. I think the fact this guy and his club run into these problems as much as they do is more a reflection on this club's culture than events as a whole. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you could be right. Definitely. I do think it's true. If you have aspirations of climbing the GT competitive scene, be prepared. You need to learn how to control your opponent when they're awful. You'll have to put them in their place. You'll have to know or look up their rules in game. You'll have to call judges a lot. And you'll have them to put up with salty players who hate you for beating them and hate you even more for catching their cheating, which they'll not accept they did. I mean, the thing with it is this guy's might have had a bad run, but this isn't every game. Definitely not. None of those recommended events would happen to be at the Outpost. Look, I'll obviously promote my own events, but there's a lot of events out there. You don't have to come to mine. I'd like it if you did. You don't have to come to mine. I'm very proud of mine. I feel like I have a pretty high bar in events in terms of like quality and experience. And I think a lot of people who've attended will probably agree. However, you're gonna go you like, you know. There's a lot of other events. Don't just go to one. Don't go to insert city GT, and then go, this is really poo, and then write off every event ever. Excuse me. I mean, I've been constantly unlucky, and there's not as many people in the scene as it seems to be. Now, I think there's more people now than there were, but again, it's percentage, right? So if there's no atmosphere, you can stuck fun out of the event. If there's no atmosphere, you can suck fun out of the event, or the player who made this post is no gun to play against. Yeah. Sometimes it can be, we can look at these situations and be like, well, all these players are dickheads. But also, like, maybe the person playing is a dickhead, who made the post is a dickhead. It's an interesting one, though, because it's obviously, like, just all come out at once. You've had the Ineos situation we just talked about, and then this as well. It's just like, is this a 40k competitive problem? Is it particularly these events problem? I'll let you decide. The Hellstorm and Tabletop Tactics events, I presume that means Tabletop Tactics, are the best ones I've been to by mile. I appreciate it, Bam. It's very kind of you. I try my best to like run really good events and bring a really good atmosphere and do something a little bit different. And just generally make sure people have a good time and know that there is a TO on hand, which is the big thing, right? It's like, if you've got a negative atmosphere, it's usually because the TOs aren't present, you know? I like your events. Appreciate it, Matt. So yeah, if you wanted to type !outpost in chat, if you did, don't know if you did. If you did, you'd type it like this: LUTPOT outpost. But you can grab some discount Warhammer. But you can also type shop, which is very cool. And then you can click on the link where it says shop. Okay. You can go to shop and go to event tickets. All right. And you can go to All Stars April, All Stars August, more stars, which is our Age of Sigmar events. And I'm going to have to deal with my cat. Come on. Come on. Get down. Come on, you. Sit on here. You can go to All Stars April, All Stars August, more Stars March, and more Stars July, which is our Age of Sigmar events, our Age of Sigmar counterparts. And maybe one day we'll have Super All Stars 3 news. And when I do, I'm sure to tell you, okay? The only way All Stars can be better if there's a close-up magician between rounds, right? Okay. I will look at getting a magician. How about that? 1,000 members. How to fix a competitive scene. 1, judge program. True. 2, no gym holes. True. 3, encourage players to call judges and TOs. True. 4, remember this is just a game after all. True. 5, more beer. I also agree. That's true. I agree. There are 5 good things to make a good tournament. That's for sure. So, anyway, chat. I want to talk about building Emperor's Children lists today. All I want to do is work out how many points I have. I have 1 Lord Exultant. How do I use this thing? Oh. Make a copy. Make a copy. I have 1 Lord Exultant. I have 1. I have 10 Tormentors. I have 2 units of 5. I have 2 units of 10 Infractors. And I have 2 units of Noise Marines. How many points do I have? Okay. Where are these points from? The Minotaur and Field Manual that was not given to me. They're from Reddit. What else can I use? I can probably use 2 rhinos. I'll do. What else can I... Maybe a Demon Prince with wings. 1,500 points. Chat, we can do 1,500 points on Friday. That would be my whole ass list, though. It's not a great list. But it's a list. In Carnival, Noise Marine, Natasha Cacao, stick a Demon Crew near the squad. Yeah, but I don't have any of those. I can proxy a Demon Prince with wings. I can proxy some rhinos, because I've just got other units, other rhinos to use. 1,500 points. 40 Marines. The Demon Prince with wings is go. The Demon Prince with wings with the fucking mortal wound bomber -1 damage. Actually insane. Is this how English people write list? This is how English people write list when it's free online that someone made on the Emperor's Children Reddit. Is there a link to the thing? Yeah, I can share it. It's from Reddit. Also, not to blow smoke up his ass, but Mikey's events are the best I've been to. Joe, you're a fucking babe, you know that, don't you? You're a babe, you know that. So yeah, I can do 1,500 points with an upgrade. I don't know what upgrade I'd use. Maybe Mercurial or something. Because I can take any enhancement on the Lord. That might be fun. 1 Demon Prince, 1 Lord Exultant. I could put an upgrade on the Demon Prince as well. I'm not using Carnival, I'm just building a list. You know? I'm just building a list here because it's got points. I didn't realise that there were different things here. I've just noticed this now. Classic Chaos Knight on it, push it to 2,000, job done. To be fair, I could use an Imperial Knight as a Chaos Knight. You know, but if I was going to use Chaos Knights, the reason I wanted to talk about Emperor's Children today was I was going to talk about using Brigands and stuff, using Chaos Knights with some decent weapons, but I don't have any. I only have a Helverin or a Warglaive. How many points for Chaos Knights these days? Chaos Knights. Desecrator 410, Despoiler 450. Those are about 400. Unless I want to take a Tyrant. So you're saying you need more members and subs to pay for your remaining 520 points? I do. Don't get enough these days. You know? What we got? 19? Oh, we did make 20. I just realised. Fuck! Fuck, we did make 20. I should have put it up to 25. Bastard. I've been thinking about the night option too, but after thinking on it, talking, watching streams and testing, I honestly don't think you need them. I think 2 long-range knights. Let's have a look what we got for long-range options. Is it Brigands people are talking about? Brigand. So a brigand can have the Havoc multi-launcher. It's a heavy stubber. Let me take off the heavy stubber. Demon's Breath Spear and the Eye Avenger Chain Cannon. So that just gives you some nice long-range shooting. Because you've got the Melter 4, 24 inch, which is obviously nice. You've got the Havoc Launcher, which is nice. You've got the Chain Cannon, which is nice. It's only 24 inch range, but it just gives you a little bit of backline, which is nice. You can advance and shoot, yeah, but if you advance and shoot, each unit can't... A unit can't shoot another unit that you advanced with, if that makes sense, you know? Because obviously the... What's it called? The rule. I literally said it like fucking 500 times last week. Thrill Seekers. If you advance with a Thrill Seeker, you can't shoot the same unit that had also advanced, you know? You think Coterie is the best? Is that the... That's the... Coterie of the Conceited. That's the fun one that I really liked, isn't it? That's the one where you build up... Yeah, the Pledges to the Dark Prince. Should we have a lot of mid-boss presence from turn 1? Yeah, true. You do. You do. Don't get me wrong. The point being is that... You've just got like that nice backline holding, which I don't think Emperor Children have. You know, you can have a unit of Tormentors or whatever, or Infractors, sat at the back holding objective, like cool. But, yeah, outside of that, what they're doing? Nothing. With a charge plus shoot thing, can a unit of Noisemarines shoot a unit and then a unit of Infractors charge a unit that got shoot if they both advanced? That is a great question. Let me just double check. I believe yes. Not with Noisemarines. They're only 18-inch range, bud. They're not 36 anymore. You can target a unit as a target of another charge or attack this phase. Yeah, so you can shoot. You can advance and shoot a unit, and then a different unit that advance can charge, but they can't multi-charge or multi-shoot each phase, basically. So that basically what it means is, right? That's all it means is basically you can't fall back. You can't fall back from a unit, then go back in, you know? If you fall back from a unit, no other unit... wait a minute, you can't target you. No, so if you fall back with a unit, you can't target the same unit. Okay? If you fall back with a unit, you can't target it, basically. So if you fall back with Noisemarines from a Custody Guard squad, that unit can't shoot the Custody Guard squad. It can't charge, can't do anything. After that, every other unit that's advancing and charging and shooting and charging, they can't multi-shoot or multi-charge, but they could shoot. One unit could shoot, one unit could charge, basically. The same unit can't fall back and charge and shoot into the same unit it just fell back from. And then multiple units can't advance and shoot into the same unit and can't charge into the same unit, but they can shoot and charge one each time, you know? Now, the only annoying thing is if you advance and charge multiple units and then fail the charge, you can't charge that unit. Because it's if you are a target of a charge, not if you made combat. You know? So if you advance 7 units and fail the first charge, you know, then no one else can charge that unit now. That unit is safe, if that makes sense. It's going to be hard to keep track of if you advance some and then don't advance others. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Which is I kind of mentioned that earlier. I was kind of like, you're going to need like little tokens to be like, this unit advanced. You know? Maybe a little coloured token. Hellstorm base adapters from hellstormwargaming.co.uk/shop. Hellstorm base adapters like this, okay? And then a little red token when they advance, and then you kind of like go, right, the red unit's going to shoot this unit, and put the red token next to them to say you've shot that unit with an advanced unit. Big brain. Big brain. Same unit can advance, shoot, then charge. Yes. Correct. I got it. Hover Drake with autocannon. Holding home objective. Definitely doesn't get sniped round one by 2 Dawn Commanders. I wouldn't. Yeah, the Helldrake's not a great stay at home type of unit as well. The only thing that's good at staying at home is a Rhino. Hence the argument for like a Brigand or similar. But it's only 24-inch range, but at least it's something that's good that's going to hold the objective and be able to shoot. Because Noise Marines at 18-inch aren't going to hold an objective and shoot as well. It's just, you're just going to be using Spawn or a Rhino or something like that, you know? Man, I want the Drake to be good, but so far I haven't seen it perform. It's not got enough weapons, it's not good enough in combat. Helldrake's are great at staying at home, that's why no one takes it. True. Tormentors have got sticky objectives. Yeah, it's 5 Marines, bro. Someone deep strikes and charge them, they're probably dead. Yeah, Helldrake got a little better. Helldrake claws anti-fly with dev wounds, 5 attack, strength 7, -1/2 damage is nice. Yo, thanks for the follower, OG Death Dog. The Flamer's fine, D6 +3, but it's only 12-inch. The Heavy Hades autocannon, strength 8, -1/2 damage. But it's just a shit Forge Fiend, isn't it? I know you can't take Forge Fiends. It's just a shit one now. The Airborne Predator's good ability, but it's like, ugh. I think people are sleeping on Tormentors. I don't think people are sleeping on Tormentors. I think they're one of the best units in the book. Precision guns, yeah, okay. Screening with the back 5 Marines is doable. It's gonna be a pain, but it's doable. It's obviously doable, but it's like, I'd rather something a bit meatier, you know? Like 5 Tormentors and a Rhino will hold you back objective. No problem. But yeah, I like the Brigand is nice to just hold your backfield and then run out and then smash something with your actual army. So me taking the larger blocks, keep seeing everyone saying MSU. You take MSU just so you've got lots of ways to there's lots of different angles you can get. Large blocks is good because it's good for attaching a character. It's good for stratagem, sorry, which is obviously great. But I think a lot of people are thinking multiple, so you can just infiltrate everywhere, you know? Just completely block out your opponent from infiltrating by having so many infiltrators yourself. So yeah, Tormentor's good. The thing is you can take 6 units, right? Large box also gives you the 4 heavy weapons. Bro, you mean special weapons, not heavy, Brett? Thrill Seekers only affects the unit that advanced. So if some of your units don't need to advance to gain range, you can just charge with the unit that advanced first, any that didn't afterwards. Totally agree. Yeah, you're right. Sorry if I didn't make that super clear, but yes. If Thrill Seekers only stop units that are advancing to multi-shoot the same unit. If they're not advancing, you can just play the game. Play Warhammer like everyone else. So yeah, so I'm excited to... Hopefully I'll get them up and running, because if not, I'm having to run something else. So Noise Marines in Rhino to avoid advanced restrictions. That's something I want to look at. With the Rhino, obviously that's got a slightly different rule now. It's got like the assault vehicle rule, the impulsor rule. Units with disembark from the chapel after advantage do not carry do so. Count as having made a normal move that phase and cannot declare a charge at the same turn, but otherwise act normally. Yeah, so the Chaos Rhino, you advance with it and then get the Noise Marines out. They haven't advanced and shot. You know? They haven't advanced. They count as making a normal move, which means your Noise Marines can then double up on the same unit. Beast. Based. That's actually really good. That's actually really, really good. Yeah, it's something I noticed, because when I first started talking about Rhino, I didn't even think about that rule. I was just like, oh, whatever. It's fine. But yeah, then I was like, wait a minute. The Rhino advances, the unit still gets out, because it moves 12 with an advance. The unit gets out because of an assault vehicle. And then they don't count as advancing. They count as making a normal move but can't charge. So you can advance, pop the Noise Marines out, and they haven't advanced in terms of Thrill Seekers. Very cheeky. Very, very cheeky. So yeah, Noise Marines and Rhinos are going to be very good. Also, you can add 2 squads of Noise Boys in 1 Rhino. You sure can. You sure can. So yeah, 1 unit. You can advance 1 and then shoot out if you wanted to. You could have your Blast Masters shoot out a firing deck because the Rhino has Thrill Seekers, so they can advance and shoot. But also, you can also advance Disembark. The Rhino can then charge something. Tank Shock. And then your Noise Marines are just all 12 of your 40 mil base Noise Marines are just kind of like just gunning everything down with lasers and noise and rock music. As long as you shoot with the advancing Rhino first, the Marines can shoot whatever. Yeah, I think so. I think that's correct with Thrill Seekers. Because again, if you shoot anything into another unit, you can't shoot with that. Shoot into the same unit with Thrill Seekers. So yeah, the Rhino can just go and tank shot because he's got bolters. It doesn't matter what he's doing. Yeah, any unit. It's not another unit that advance with Thrill Seeker. So yeah, the Rhino shoots last in that instance. So that's kind of fun. It's actually crazy how much extra I've made because of the 20 Tormentors. Literally another 340 points. It's pretty fun. You can basically avoid all that rule through sequencing. Yeah, you have to be... With Thrill Seekers, it's a very fun mechanic. Because what it is, it's a very strong mechanic, but with a little bit of thought, it can be completely avoided. But you have to put thought about it, you know? Lord times 3, 5 Infractors times 3, Tormentors times 2, Noise, Cacao, Rhino, Blood. Noise, Cacao, Rhino, Blood times 2. That's Rhino Blood. Lucius, Winged Prince times 2, Molifine times 2 is what I'm looking at. It sounds pretty good. I don't know what the Rhino Blood is. But yeah, Cacao and Noise Marines are good. Lord of Silverton, I've seen a lot of people saying he needs Whip and Lance and then staple him to some Tormentors for the Scout. So don't forget, I kept getting this wrong. Tormentors the Bolters, they have Infiltrate. You know, Infractors the Scout. Yeah, the thing is with it is in every situation, pretty much, if you've charged, the Spear is better. You know? You know? The Spear is better most of the time. The Powerfish just looks cool. Really, you want the probably the best loadout is a Spear, which you're going to take, which is cool. And then either a gun or the Whip, you know? Gun just because you want to shoot, or the Whip because then you get more attacks. The Spear against any toughness is better than the Power Fist. Because it's the same or better, because obviously if it's toughness 4, the Power Fist is wind on 2s, the Spear is wind on 2s as well, because it's going to get +1 because of Lance. The Power Fist is only good against an opposing combat unit that charges you. You know? So most of the time you're going to be on the charge. It's only if you get charged that you're not getting the bonus. Because then, like, basically, the Power Fist against Toughness 5 will wound on 3s, but the Spear will still wound on 2s because it gets +1 to wound. Up until Strength 7, the Power Fist will wound on 3s, but because you're Strength 7 with Lance, you'll still wound on 3s. Against Toughness 8, you'll be wounded on 4s. The Spear will be wounded on 5s. It becomes 4s because of Lance, because of +1 to wound, etc. And then obviously you are still doing the same for the Power Fist at Strength 10, Toughness 10. You're winning on 5s. The Spear would be winning on 5s. It becomes 4s, and then right up until Toughness 16, the Power Fist is winning on 6s. The Spear is still wounded on 5s. So the Spear is just a better weapon. I think in my video I said I built mine with a Power Fist, and that's probably the one you want. But I don't think I referred to the fact that that's the one you want because it looks cool. The Rapture Lick, the reason people are saying Spear and Lash is because the Lash has more attacks, you know. The Power Fist gains you nothing. Let me just double check. Yeah, the Power Fist gains you nothing, Whereas the Rapture Lash is extra attacks, so you can fight with those as well. 4 attacks, hits on 2 strength, 4 minus 1 damage. So you can fight with the Rapture Lash and his spear. So it just gives him more attacks, basically. That's kind of why you'd want it. And then if you use the Euphoric Strikes, he's obviously got the one to battle, add 3 to the attack characteristic. He's then got 8 attacks with the spear, and then 7 with the Rapture Lash. So, Rhino Blob. Oh. I don't think it's avoid sequencing. I think it's sequencing is point of the rule. Yeah, for sure. But that's what I mean. It can be mitigated by sequencing. What about Mr. Lone Op Lucius giving Walking Princes Lone Op? That's really funny. It's something I didn't realise at the time. You know? Yeah, because Lucius is Lone Operative. So he can't be targeted over 12. And then a Demon Prince has, if you have any Slanesh infantry within 3 of this model, he gets Lone Operative. So they give each other Lone Operative, which is funny. Doesn't get extra attacks on the extra attack weapon. It's not just Age Sigmar. I don't use extra attacks very often. The Power Fist gains you the aesthetic style points for that be cashed in wishing you had a lance or a lash. A lance and lash. Yeah. I'm probably just going to play mine as a lash, but if I ever went to a tournament, I'd just change the model out. The main reason I built mine with the Power Fist is because I wanted the Plasma and Lash to build an extra Obsessionist. I think the craziest part of the book is that Fulgrim fills pants. Fulgrim isn't pants. He's just a lot of points for an army that like doesn't have a lot of anti-tank, so you're trying to play a swarm list. Lucy's good attacks to blades or not, to be honest. Learn not versus wound on 3 to the blades. Yeah, wounds on 3 to the blades is nice, but also he gets fight first if he's not attached. So not attached is a good option, because obviously he has learn operative and fight first, but then he can also protect a demon prince with giving it learn operative, which is also fun. And there's a lot of points you always take him. Yeah, but you're not running the swarm list, right? You're running like quite an elite list. And making all those use spicy. The thing is with Fulgrim, he's not a force multiplayer. Magnus is a force multiplayer with all of his extra tokens and stuff, you know, for the Cabal points. Fulgrim is good, but doesn't really help the army. I'll give you a buff outside. Oh crap, I need to kill this model. Yeah, he's like Angron. You know, he's like Angron, but the problem is if you lose him, he doesn't come back. That's obviously the main problem with him. But like, Mortarion and Magnus are both force multipliers. They help your force be better. Whereas Fulgrim and Angron are big choppy, but they don't do anything outside of that. But Angron aura buffs his army. Yeah. Yeah. So he's more like the lion. Yeah, it's a good example is Mortarion. The lion versus Gulliman, right? Gulliman is great, but he makes your army insane. Whereas the lion is insane, but what he does is kill shit. And that's what Fulgrim will do. He will go in and kill shit. Jack, you know what I could do? Thinking about this list, 1,500 points. What if I just use Magnus as Mortarion? It's Fulgrim. Are those points right? As far as I'm aware, I believe these are Minotaur and Field Manual points, but according to Reddit, they are. Some people got access to them, I didn't, so I don't know why I fucking I don't know why I got pinned off from him, but here we go. I could just use Magnus as Fulgrim and confuse everybody. Using incorrect base size, Fulgrim's on a 130 mil. Is he? How do you know? Have you seen him? You measured him? I don't think Fulgrim's on 130 mil. I'd like to say do it, but please don't. I think I'm playing Raziel. I just need to confirm with you, don't I? I'm playing Raziel on Friday, I think. So he doesn't want me to play Fulgrim. Why? It's cool. I'm just going to advance him 22 inches turn 1 and charge you. And you'll lament the day. What's the big Emperor's Children drama? I'll be honest, matey. I am 3 hours into a stream now. It was at most at the beginning. Now I'm just talking about lists. Do it just to collect data. That's what Fulgrim's all about. He loves to collect data with poison. He's on display at Warhammer World. Staff were asked. He's on 130 mil. Interesting. That's big. What's the equivalent of 100? Is 130 mil the fucking Gargant base? The Krieg artillery base? I think he might be. Krieg artillery base. That's massive then. I thought he was on the same base as Magnus. Which, yeah, would make him quite small. What's the drama? I came as soon as I heard the word. Bro, you're like tuning to BBC News and asking what happened at 9 o'clock in the morning. Is your mum on a 132 mil base? Right, okay. I think that's time to end, chap. I think that's it for today. Just want to say thanks to everyone tuning in today. Really appreciate it. If you're new to the live streams because you saw my video on Monday, thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for watching. I stream every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I wear t-shirts that say I love my boyfriend, okay? I'm clearly a very serious streamer. I'm a very serious Warhammer player, all right? And I'll be back on Friday for a live game. Fingers crossed with Emperor's Children. I don't think they'll be finished painted, but I'm hoping to get all the main things base coated, and they'll look fine on camera. Boyfriend who? Anyway, so fine. If I called him out, he's fine. You don't need to delete it. The mods jumped on you. See that? So yes, if you enjoy what you see, thank you so much. Make sure you like the stream if you haven't already. You can become a member for as little as £1.99 a month. And don't forget to join the Discord. Exclamation point Discord in chat. Mods, please spam. Exclamation point Discord in chat. That'd be really cool, because what that does, it lets you join in the conversation. There is a free area, but I will say the real area is the members area, okay, which you can join for as little as £1.99 a month. That'd be very cool. That'd be very chill. I would appreciate that. But yeah, it's free to join. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Friday. I hopefully have another video out this week. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all. I'm gonna go feed my cats now because I can hear them smashing something. They've been smashing stuff all stream. So thank you. Appreciate you all, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye. See you on Friday. Bye. Live at 7 p.m. UK time. Link in the description. Bye-bye. Bye. 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 Thanks to the members. Appreciate you all.